Hello, everyone, and welcome to Vtuber Talk. I'm your host, Jay, and thank you so much for joining us this evening. For those of you who haven't been here before, Vtuber Talk is designed after classic late-night talk shows. Everything here is live, casual, and the goal is to simply have fun conversations that will entertain people who are already familiar with the guest while still being accessible for new fans. Please welcome my guest for this evening, Maple Winters. Hello!
Hello, that's me.
That's you! Oh, good, and I do have the audio leveling right. Good.
Oh, okay, great. Hello, Jay. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. Oh, I'm so sorry. I must have mispronounced your name. Magic Walnuts, Meadow Wagons. Chad is being very kind and correcting me in my mistake right now. So sorry about that.
No worries. It happens all the time.
But yes, it definitely seems that we have many LEAFBUDs in chat who are already familiar with you. But for anyone who might not be, if you could introduce yourself.
Of course. I am Maple Winters, Wood Elf variety streamer on Twitch. I also have a YouTube channel for VOD content. And my Twitter for art and announcements. I don't use it very much, but... So I am a 300 and some odd year old wood elf, running around in the forest and stuff. Give or take a decade here or there. And I come from the northern forest where it is always winter. But the internet connection up there sucks. It's really hard to get video games and like cool human stuff up there, and I really love human stuff. I'm kind of like, I'd call myself a humanitiaboo. So I'm like the elven Little Mermaid. Look at the stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? And
Very good
and
reference.
so
And Mantiaboo, oh my god, that's really good. That's really good, Maple.
But yeah, I came to the human world a few decades ago, and I love it here. And I've been trying to fit into human society and learn and talk to the humans, and so I became a streamer.
Yeah. And I'm so happy to have you here tonight, and also happy to have the many wonderful LEAFBUDs in chat.
Hello, LEAFBUDs! That's what they sound like.
That sounds about right. You have the... I imagine them as, the small creatures, very high-pitched voices. Honestly, they would make fantastic marketable plushies.
It's a dream of mine. It truly is a dream of mine. I was just talking about it actually on stream the other day, that one day I'm gonna... I think it's like a minimum of 200 units to get plushies. So 100 can go to the LEAFBUDs themselves, and then 100 for me.
Sounds right.
And I'm gonna have the LEAFBUD room. I'm gonna get rid of my bed. I'm gonna make a LEAFBUD pile, and I'm gonna sleep in the leaf pile.
Just jump into the LEAFBUD pile. It is jumping into piles of leaves is a time-honored tradition. But the fear there is always, there can be bugs or other things in the leaves. But LEAFBUD pile, that's much safer, and also, frankly, much fluffier, much more comfortable than potentially scratchy leaves. So very good. And if folks want to jump into large piles of LEAFBUDs that are painful, you can play the, dang it, I'm blanking on the name of the game. I feel so bad now. Crap, it just went poof.
LEAFBUD Rampage!
Yes, LEAFBUD Rampage. Thank you. Made by Zykes, who was actually the first person in the pre-show chat. So, not sure. I think they are still around, but if they are, Zykes, well done. I may or may not have sunk a good... Yeah, it was probably a good 5 hours plus earlier in the week. Of just, I found it very easy to play Vampire Survivors and Vampire Survivor-like games while watching things in the background, because it takes just enough brain power to be watching the screen, make sure you're not running into things. So if you're listening to a just chatting stream or something like that, where the visuals aren't necessarily the main focus, that, just turn off the sound in the game, and that sort of keeps me engaged. So I know that I got a lot of things unlocked in there, and it's, especially for just, being what seems to be a one-person fan-made game. Well done, Zykes.
Isn't it incredible? I think I spent like a week trying to unlock everything. I'm so incredibly flattered and honored that something so incredible exists and was inspired in part by my existence. It's just it's just incredible. I can't. Every single time I'm like at a loss for words. But everyone play it, please.
It's been really cool to see that whole subgenre just sort of pop up in the past, I don't know, 2 years. I don't remember how old Vampire Survivors is, but I remember it was actually one of my past guests. It was Kieran, who I saw playing it basically a week before it really started being everywhere. So I picked it up, and I feel like, you know, I'm the slight hipster of, oh man, I was playing this a week before everyone knew what it was, and then suddenly it was everywhere, and then you had Hollow Cure, and you have LEAFBUD Rampage, and it's just such a solid format for a game, and the fact that it's been established so firmly as, okay, they don't need to be high-fidelity graphics. You can just have, you know, classic, very pixelated art here, and that it works fine.
Oh, I actually think it works even better. I think the more retro kind of stylized graphics. I've played a few kind of more HD Survivor likes, and I actually prefer the more pixel style ones. I think it gives them a lot more charm, and honestly, it helps with legibility of seeing where the projectiles are and stuff.
And especially once you get into the later parts of the game where there's just hundreds of units on screen at any given time, that it's probably not practical from a software standpoint to have higher pixel models on the screen, because it's just going to end up being really difficult to run.
Could be. But yeah, I totally agree with you that Survivor likes are just really like nice, relaxing things to play on while you're listening to something on the second monitor. That's like most of my off-stream gaming is games like that, like Minecraft, Solitaire, like Bejeweled, Jigsaw puzzles. That's it's like total mom gamer energy.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's the type of stuff that I enjoy playing if I'm not streaming, is things that I can kind of zone out a little bit. Or like level grinding in Elden Ring, or kind of exploring in Zelda. It's like things where my mind is not 100% focus. I can still listen to an audiobook or something.
But then you have other games that you play where you definitely need all of your mental abilities, especially when you're doing speed runs of Ocarina of Time randomized.
Oh, no. No, not speed runs. No, I didn't do... I learned a few speedrun tricks, but yeah, earlier this year I got super into an Ocarina of Time randomizer rabbit hole, and I always loved watching speedruns of Ocarina of Time. Like there were speedrunners I would watch like every single day they were live. I would be watching for like hours, like on the edge of my seat. Is tonight the run? And of course, the Zelda franchise is my favorite video game franchise of all time. I absolutely love it. And so seeing some of these games that I love so much, like played so masterfully and deconstructed, I find it fascinating. And so when I discovered, when I got into randomizer myself, I was finally brave to get into it. When I discovered that some of the tricks that I had seen speedrunners do were actually learnable by someone with not the greatest gaming skills like myself, I got really into it. And I learned as many as I could. And I did some practice races and stuff on Twitch, and it was really fun. I think I took a break from it for now, but I would like to revisit it in the future.
Have you done, at this point, more normal, unrandomized Ocarina of Time runs, or randomized, at least when it comes to actually trying for speed?
I have definitely played more randomized Zelda on my channel than I've played non-randomized. I mean, maybe it's 50-50. I've played Twilight Princess, Wind Waker twice, once randomized, once not. Ocarina of Time, a full playthrough that was lightly randomized, and then a few like short playthroughs where I did only the young Link section of the game, and kind of raced to see how quickly I could get to the Door of Time, and that was like my challenge. That was like the training wheels I put on myself to learn the basics of Rando, and eventually I'd like to try to learn the whole game, but I am an easily distracted elf, and other things have have taken up my attention, so I'll get back to it in due time, I'm sure.
To be fair, speedrunning is already a difficult endeavor, regardless of what game you're doing. That even if it's just original Super Mario Brothers, that if you're speedrunning anything, it means getting to know the game inside out and backwards, and that's a lot. And especially if you're going to do a game that is as long and complex as Ocarina of Time or really any Zelda game, even if you're using some amount of glitches to get to where you need to be, assuming it's not one of the runs where it's okay, you know, here's how we glitch ourselves to Ganon and finish the game in 20 minutes. If it's not to that degree, that's still a lot of time investment, and that's a lot of work. Well, uh-oh. May have lost audio. You're muted.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I muted myself to sneeze and I forgot to unmute myself. I'm so sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine. I'm just glad that like nothing in my system broke.
Classic VTuber scuff. I apologize. Muted Winter's chat. I'm sorry, everyone. But yeah, I think 100% runs are like especially interesting because of like there's Ocarina of Time runs now that are like under 5 minutes because they use like random code. They use like code execution, arbitrary code execution. I think that's what it's called. I don't recall exactly. But I think I saw something like that at like an AGDQ recently or something where they beat the game in like 5 minutes by like editing the memory of the game. And I think those are pretty wild, but you're not really. It's not really about the masterful playing of the game at that point. It's just like kind of taking it apart, which is also fascinating. But I think things like 100% runs, where they really have to get to every single nook and cranny of the game at the highest skill possible. That's so impressive to see. I've always enjoyed
even if you haven't
speedrun,
speedrun, that's certainly not a knock against you. That I mean it in the sense of. There's so much there. There's so much complexity. I've never been brave enough to even do the slightest attempt of a speed run of just. But yeah, it's so cool, especially if it's a game that you love. Seeing it, really analyzed and brought down to its just highest level of execution, and even if and even the ones where it's just all right. Here's how we completely break this game. That when you know a game, to watch it. Really, I guess, torn apart and be like, okay, I know this game so well, and I know that it's not supposed to do that.
Yeah, that's what made randomizer so appealing to me. It's like I played Ocarina of Time. It was like it was a very, very influential early game for me. One of the first games that I got really immensely into after coming to the human world, and I played it so many times. I spent so much time just riding Epona around this world that felt enormous. And I remember reading on game FAQs like, if you let Ganon knock your sword away at the final boss and then you quit out of the game, your sword is gone and you can do these crazy glitches on Epona. And even back then, I had like this interest in you can do this in a video game, and then. Like learning randomizer and being like I can do these tricks. I can do infinite sword glitch. I can do ground jump. I can do these things. It's like I can do vital skip. It's like it was really cool to get to learn to do these things that I had always admired seeing other people do. So yeah, I really recommend randomizer to you and to anyone watching this. A lot of retro games, I think, can be a lot of fun, kind of creating it as like a fresh way to re-experience it by playing it randomized.
Do you have a favorite Zelda game?
It's gonna be, I would say Wind Waker maybe edges out Ocarina by like 1 point. It's very, very close. I absolutely love Wind Waker. That I've played it twice on stream and two full playthroughs. I've also played Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Majora's Mask is probably going to be next. I'm quite excited about that. Yeah, I absolutely love the Zelda franchise. Like, it's my favorite of all time.
Yeah, I think my favorite is probably Twilight Princess. It's been a while since I played through it.
I played it earlier this year, right around Christmas time.
It's probably that or Breath of the Wild. That they're very different. What really has Twilight Princess standing out for me after all these years, it has my favorite final boss sequence of any video game ever.
Yeah, I think my memories of Twilight Princess had become quite clouded since the time I first played it. But I recently replayed it, kind of like thinking like, I every time around the holidays, I try to play a game that reminds me of the holidays. And Twilight Princess is one of those, because like things that I got as a solstice present, you know? So having revisited that game after like decades, which isn't very long in terms of elf time, but so it still feels fairly new. But having revisited it, I definitely have a newfound appreciation for that game that I didn't have before. I think it shot up my ranking in terms of my mental Zelda game tier list. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with you that the final boss was like really, really good. I think my favorite ending boss sequence in any Zelda game, though, is still Spirit Tracks.
Really? Wow.
Unpopular opinion, but
I can't remember the last time anybody has mentioned Spirit Tracks, period.
Spirit Tracks is like an underrated gem, in my opinion. Phantom Hourglass is good too, but Spirit Tracks had my favorite version of Zelda in terms of her personality and her level of involvement in the game. And the way that it built up to the final boss, it just, I was playing it on my little DS, right? But in my memories, like I was there. I don't remember it as like playing it through a little screen. I was there. I was so immersed.
Oh, that's so
and I don't want to
interesting.
spoil anything about it. But that final boss and how hype it is your reward for getting through that game.
It's been a while since I played Spirit Tracks. I remember, like, I don't think it's a terrible game, but it's pretty far down there for me in terms of Zelda games. I did not like that it was literally on rails.
Yep, it's different.
The fact that I couldn't actually properly explore, and that it was just, okay, I'm going on rails from one location to the next. And I did appreciate that you had what was effectively target practice of, you had to use the cannon to defeat the enemies as you passed by them. But the fact that it really didn't allow exploration, that you just had to be ferried from one to the other, is there a lot to do in the Great Sea? Yes and no, that it's certainly not the same type of exploration that you're going to get in Breath of the Wild, but that you have that agency over, okay, do I want to turn here? I'm going to explore, and even if I don't anticipate finding anything in this large patch of sea, that, well, I can say I at least explored it, whereas there's never the opportunity to get lost in Spirit Tracks.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. It's definitely not for everybody, but I honestly think that it's worth it for that boss fight. If that final boss fight was in any other Zelda game, it would be like looked back, I think, much more fondly than it is because it's stuck in Spirit Tracks.
Yeah.
It's such a satisfying ending moment. And Zelda in that game is incredibly cute. So I really do recommend people give it a try.
I do like the cel-shaded Zelda in terms of personality. That I do agree with you
absolutely.
that
the Zelda games are
in Breath of the Wild are really the only ones. Well, I shouldn't say the only ones, where I think they gave her the most to work with.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think Skyward Sword Zelda had a little bit going on, but you didn't get to see her most of the game, so that was kind of disappointing. I think, honestly, her having her own parallel adventure in that game could have like benefited from having some kind of playable segment of her, or like more cutscenes of her side of the story, like we got with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. But I do believe like Zelda. The cel-shaded game iterations of Zelda are my favorites, and that's all I'm going to say without spoiling. Because I want everyone, if there's anybody who has not played these games, especially Wind Waker. I would love you to play them as unspoiled as possible.
Yeah, Wind Waker, that was the first Zelda game that I finished.
Let's
that
go.
I started others, but that was the first one that I played start to finish, and you get some really cool experiences in that one, and the final boss sequence in that one is definitely up there for me. It doesn't top Twilight Princess, but it's a very good one.
Yeah, for me, an iconic moment is when you go to the area that's kind of like an homage to past games, and the music that plays and the decor there, it stopped me in my tracks the first time I played it. I'm like, oh, no way, they did this, and I really don't want to spoil it, but please, everybody play Wind Waker. I love it, and play the HD version. If you're intimidated, if you've heard bad things about the Triforce Quest, play the HD version on the Wii U.
I haven't played the HD version. Do they significantly change that quest?
They simplify it. They simplify it quite a lot. A lot of the places where you would have found a Triforce chart and then you have to go drudge up the piece, they instead just put the Triforce piece in the chart, in the chest where the chart would have been. I believe that's how they did it. Yeah. So they simplified the quest, but not so much to the point that you feel like you're not adventuring to find it.
It still feels earned, but it's a little less tedious.
Still feel earned. That's a good way to put it. I think they did it. I think they did a good job with it. Gosh, this could end up being an entire Zelda podcast. I'm a little too. I apologize. I'm a bit too into it.
Is there how to phrase this? Okay, you're in charge of designing the next Legend of Zelda game, and that you can take different elements from different things or even create new things. Do you have your ideal Zelda game?
Remake Ocarina of Time in the Breath of the Wild engine.
Yeah. Gosh, people would go crazy for that.
Give me a big world you can explore, but also give me settlements, and give me dungeons. Give me dungeons. Maybe the world doesn't have to be as big as Breath of the Wild. See, the thing that I loved about Breath of the Wild is the open-endedness of it and the sense of exploration. I personally love open world games. One of my other favorite franchises is the Elder Scrolls. Anything where I can walk around and explore and have that feeling of immersion and freedom, I love it. Them bringing that to Zelda, I mean, I felt that way playing Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask and Wind Waker, but then they kind of really went for it with the modern Zelda games. And I think making the world smaller and bringing back longer, more complex dungeons would be the perfect middle ground. I will say, and this might be an unpopular opinion, I didn't really enjoy the machine stuff in Tears of the Kingdom. I didn't. I found it tedious. I wanted to glide. I wanted to glide and run and not constantly be checking my inventory if I have jets and gliders and have to put stuff together. But that also could be because I didn't find the auto build mechanic until 50 hours into the game.
Yeah, I have super mixed feelings about the building and parts and everything. I think, and this is something that has occurred to me literally in just this moment, so it's kind of an unrefined idea, but I'm realizing I think what I wanted from that was to limit the building to shrines. I don't want it in the overworld.
You know what? I think that would have been a good choice.
That might have been the balance.
That might have been a good choice.
Because I agree that the glider was all I needed. The exploration without all of that and without having to worry about, do you have these different parts in your inventory? It feels clunky. That I like the puzzle nature of it. I like the creativity of it. I think it was a cool system. And that if you limit it to the shrines or to dungeons, that you can do a lot with it and you can have it feel good and not have it completely take over the game experience, because then you're designing puzzles around it. And I thought they were really good for that it was good for the puzzles. It was good for those types of challenges. But having access to that much in the average overworld almost felt overpowered.
I don't even know about overpowered. Like some of those Korok missions where you have to get a Korok from point A to point B, I'll just carry it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I saw some comparison
also, I don't bother with all the Koroks. That if I stumble across a Korok, I'll give it a shot a couple times. I'm not the type to 100% something. I was not going to get all, what was it, 400 something Koroks?
Oh no, I didn't bother at all. I just caught them if I happened to see them. I will say, I don't know. One thing that makes me happy though is that so much of kind of the lineage of Wind Waker can be felt in the modern Breath of the Wild, Ocarina of not Ocarina of Time, but Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Like the Koroks are there. I love the Koroks. They're extremely cute. They're
Koroks resemble the LEAFBUDs.
They were an inspiration for the LEAFBUDs. They were. I went through a lot of different variations of LEAFBUD design, but when I came upon this one in the end, which was like the first iterations were more inspired by Pokemon, but this one, the one that I ended up sticking with, it was more inspired by Lumas from Mario Galaxy, another all-time favorite game of mine.
Oh, I see that.
And also the Koroks, and the Koroks are so cute, and the cute little noises they make. They're so cute. And so when the LEAFBUDs themselves started drawing fan art of that design, I was like, okay, this is the one. This is the one that the LEAFBUDs themselves have taken to, because I presented them with a bunch of options, and the one that they started drawing fan art right away was the one that you can see in the chat right now. Look at them, they're so cute.
We've had a couple comments in chat about the weapon degradation specifically for the Master Sword.
Get rid of it. Kill it. I hate weapon degradation. Get rid of it. Bring back the Twilight Princess weapon system. I can't stand weapon degradation. It's the worst part of the new games.
I have mixed feelings on overall weapon degradation. I very much agree the Master Sword shouldn't be able to break, but my solution to that is simple. You just shouldn't be allowed to use the Master Sword in anything except the last battle.
Nope. I disagree. I disagree. The whole thing that they wanted. I'm sorry. I'm gonna.
Please. Yes. No. Please.
I'm gonna get like angry at Aonuma right now. I really do. That's cute. A little angry emote. Angy. I'm a little bit angry. I understand why they did it from a gameplay point of view. That they wanted to force the players to use all the different weapons that they put in the game. But I'm sorry, Aonuma. I don't care. I just want to use the few. I want to use my Kokiri sword. I want to use my Master Sword. I found it tedious. And just give me a roster of weapons that I can switch between that are all unique, but none of them degrade. And if you want me to use, like in other games, yes.
Yeah, just the wheel of weapons in Twilight Princess was just so good, and you mentioned that they each have a very distinct function, and they do what you need to do, and that I had. Like I said, I have mixed feelings about weapon degradation outside of the Master Sword of, okay, if you're going to have this sort of diversity, and especially in the setting of Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, where it is so desolate, and that everything is in ruins, that it makes sense, and that obviously you don't want it to be, okay, well, I found this really good knight's sword because I explored and found this chest really early in the game, and now it's all just completely on easy mode because I have an OP weapon super early.
No. Okay. Tell me if you ever did this, and everyone watching, tell me if you did this. Did you ever find a really awesome, powerful weapon in Tears of the Kingdom, and you never use it?
You just don't use it because you want to save it? Yes! Oh, that's such a normal thing.
Inventory full of powerful weapons that I'm saving for another occasion, but I never use them because I know that they die in inventory. I don't enjoy that. I don't enjoy that.
It's the same thing of
bring back traditional
in
weapons.
RPGs of, I'm going to save this healing item for the end game. You don't want to use it, and then face the final boss, and it's like, oh.
That's so me. In Elden Ring, I have like 30 rune arcs that I never use.
Yeah.
It's like this really powerful weapon that gives you this really powerful consumable that gives you like a huge stat boost, and I saved all of them pretty much.
Yeah.
I only used like maybe a dozen of them on the final boss. You were supposed to be using them the whole time.
And while I have, like I said, sort of mixed feelings on it, I certainly wouldn't miss it if they remove it. There's going to be no complaints from me. That I find it an interesting design choice, and I like that they experiment, and that I will rarely fault a series for trying new things. And I think that it was worth a shot, and that if I had to choose, I'm gonna say I think it's fine without it, but for the setting of Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, I can see why they looked at that option and said that they felt it fit there. It certainly fits better there than in any other Legend of Zelda. It wouldn't make sense in Ocarina of Time. It wouldn't make sense in Wind Waker. And I kind of anticipate that wherever they go after this, because they've said that Tears of the Kingdom is going to be the last in that incarnation of Hyrule, that they will...
Shit. Sorry.
Everything okay?
Sorry, spam call. Pardon me.
Oh, spam calls. But yes, we could make this an entire Legend of Zelda podcast, but I'm going to bump us to some other things because you shared a bunch of art with me.
I apologize, LEAFBUDs. I'm very angry at myself for allowing that to happen. What? Art time!
Art time! And of course, we have to start with you yourself. That this is just... This is... I consider this is a quintessential maple piece right here. And also, folks, I apologize for any crunchiness on the image quality. That the images she sent me were very, very high quality, and I had to bring them down a bit to fit on the screen. So rest assured, if you actually go to the source, that this is a very, very, very clean piece. It's so nice. Just you have the background, you have the leaf that you're holding, you have the LEAFBUD, and just...
LEAFBUD!
And I'm no artist myself, so I don't necessarily know the proper terms and phrases for the elements that I feel make this piece work, but this piece works.
Oh, thank you. I made it to be a poster for Anime North that I had a table at a year or two back, and yeah, it's kind of like a key visual, as they would call it in the anime world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is there any part of this piece that was particularly challenging for you?
I had a hard time with the skirt. my half skirt kind of thing. I had to look at a lot of reference photos to figure out how to shade the pleats.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And hands are always a problem of where to put them.
No, I like what you ended up doing there. Just you know, one in the hair, you have one holding the maple leaf. Very nice. Very. I don't know if dynamic would necessarily be the right term here, but that it's not just you standing.
I wanted to. My hair is a little longer there than it normally is, but I kind of got carried away. I have a bit of a hard time drawing myself on model, so to speak. It's just kind of it's vibes based. So I felt like I wanted my hair to be more voluminous and blowing in the wind and give it good movement like that. So I did. So I kind of went crazy with it.
How long did this? Do you remember about how long this one took?
No. I'm very scatterbrained when I work on projects. I'll work like an hour on one, 5 minutes on another, 15 minutes on another, half an hour on another, and just with a few like gaming breaks in between. And yeah, it makes it hard to know how long things actually take me.
That's very fair. Goodness knows I've had my fair share of projects where you just sort of get into it, you blink, oh, it's been a long time, and you do that for however many days, and you don't, you know, it's not a job or anything, you're not logging the hours.
Well, it also makes it a problem when I do have to log the hours. which is sometimes I do a little bit of commission work here and there for other VTubers.
Yes, indeed. You can commission her at VGen.
Not quite yet, but hopefully in the near future. TM Elf Time.
My bad.
Elf Time.
I just sworn you had a VGen page. That's my bad.
No, I do have a VGen page, and I encourage everyone. No, thank you very much for shouting it out. And I encourage everyone, if you're interested in working with me one day in the future, please follow me there. And then the moment that I am finally brave to open them, you can be first in line.
Yeah. But in the meantime, you're working on pieces that you enjoy, and that you actually had one that you made sort of on a whim a bit recently, and a lot of people really liked Hosehair Miku.
Ah, yes!
I don't even know what I don't quite know what to call this, because it's just a hose.
Hosune Miku.
Hosune, that's really good.
It came to me right now. Dwemer Miku. Yeah, I was giving a bit of Dwemer, a bit of Dwemer thing, inspiration in there. But yeah, it was an image that someone had shown to me, and they were like, "Look, Maple, it's Miku," and I'm like,
What if it was Miku?
It got me thinking. It got the noggin jogging, and
now it's just.
I was inspired. I was inspired by the shape of it to be the hair, and I'm quite proud of how it turned out. I actually did start it on stream, so I think somewhere is the VOD of me doing the base of the body and the hair. But then I finished it off stream and kind of forgot about it, and then was like, oh yeah, I never posted this, and I posted it, and then I went to sleep, and then I woke up and it had 50,000 likes.
Oops.
So that was a very exciting and happy day. I'm still so kind of shocked that happened, and so happy that so many people enjoyed the design. A few people even made fan art of it, which made me incredibly happy. So I remember going through like the comments and quote retweets and stuff, and it made my whole week at the time.
Yeah, and I just
even now thinking about it makes me so happy.
I can't decide. In some ways, it almost actually feels like it could be Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda type of style, with the way the armor is sort of stylized. But in some ways, it almost looks steampunk. I don't know. It's you obviously understand Miku. That I've been aware of Miku for goodness knows how long, but I can't really say that I'm a Miku fan. But as someone who has seen Miku, I look at that and it's like, oh yeah, that's absolutely an outfit Miku would wear, that I could see them doing that type of style, because obviously she's been portrayed in many, many different styles, but it just works.
Oh, thank you. I think I definitely have some subconscious inspiration there from some other Mikus I've seen. But yeah, I love Hatsune Miku. I enjoy listening to Miku music. I like the rhythm game, Project Sekai. I was really into that for a while. She's iconic. Miku is forever. Miku is love. Miku is life. Miku is all of us. Right now there's a trend going around on Twitter. I was about to say,
have you seen the recent trend?
of the international Mikus. I absolutely love it. It's so cute, and kind of Miku just brings people together. She's great, and I have
can
many.
Be anyone. She can be from anywhere, and that there's no right answer to that. It's gone as far as individual U.S. states, and just it's been very fun to see those on the timeline, because it's such a fun trend. There's so much creativity baked into each of them.
Yeah, Miku from the very outset. I remember first hearing Miku songs and like on YouTube re-uploads from Nico Nico Doga of like Melt and The World Is Mine and stuff, like those very early ones, like 2007, 8, 9. And even back then it was like, it's like Miku somehow is this intersection of interdisciplinary artistry. You know, we have composers, and then you have like 3D models who make the model, or MMD animators who make her dance, illustrators, motion graphics, graphic design, animation to make the animated MVs for the songs, 2D animators who make animated stuff, cosplayers, odote mita, utaite culture. Like Miku is so, it's just, I love stuff like that brings people together. And honestly, I kind of get a vibe like that from VTubing. I really do. That it's something, things like that where a lot of different disciplines, people of all sorts of different disciplines and all sorts of different skill sets come together. It's just, I love that kind of thing. I really love it.
Absolutely. And Specialist 290 in the chat says that they feel Miku is one of the ultimate roots of VTuber culture. And I think that's very fair to say that.
I agree.
That as an idol, which is where a lot of the VTubing industry draws its roots from, that you have a pretty one-to-one parallel there. But then also, even though Miku is not actually motion capture, that you have, obviously it's a very similar style in terms of what you will see in the quote-unquote average VTuber style, but that there is that creativity and that it's something that really anybody can take and run with and do different creative things, and that the idea of being able to cheer for anyone using a virtual avatar, and obviously Miku is not like Kizunai, who has somebody behind them, that Miku is actually just a program, but the idea of being able to, cheer for and go to a concert for a animated character of any variety was definitely pioneered by Miku.
Yes. I believe that's the case. Yeah. I mean, why do you think so many anime characters since she came out, and so many VTubers, we all have our shoulders out. I
never even thought of it that way.
We all have our shoulders out.
I can't unsee it, Maple.
Even me. You gotta. I think it's like a subconscious homage to the primordial, our primordial beginnings. Yeah. It's like Toho characters and Vocaloids.
I feel like you could take that headpiece and make it into a VTube Studio asset.
Oh, maybe. It'd be probably pretty hard to rig at the angles. I've been trying to brush up on my rigging skills lately. Oh, I actually didn't mention at the top of the hour. But I did draw and rig my own model. I probably should have mentioned that.
You are entirely self-made.
Yeah. I also my logo and a lot of my emotes, although like as I continued streaming and the leaf pile grew, more and more viewer made emotes were contributed, and so a lot of my emotes now are made by viewers, and I absolutely adore them. But to begin with, they were all made by me.
Mm-hmm. And we've had plenty of those appearing in chat.
That makes me so happy. I am keeping an eye on chat, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.
And that you are an artist in many varieties, that you've even done oil painting.
Yes, I love oil painting.
And that this apple right here, when you sent it to me, it was just like, oh, wow, this is very, very, very high quality. Do you remember, I guess, how far back does doing art go for you? Is this something that, we all usually take some rudimentary art classes when we're in early education and such? Is it something that you fell in love with at a very early age, or was art something that you realized you enjoyed a bit later on?
Well, creative pursuits in various ways are like, I guess I would describe myself as being someone whose hobby is hobbies. I've tried like pretty much every craft I could get my hand on, every drawing medium I can get my hand on: sculpting, knitting, crochet, chainmail, beading, all sorts of digital hobbies, video editing and live 2D rigging and all sorts of stuff. So I think I've always had a huge amount of curiosity for learning crafts and stuff. And I think part of it also goes back to, despite being an elf, I actually, it's embarrassing to admit, but I actually can't use magic at all.
Don't worry, I can't either.
Well, that's why it's so easy to get. That's why living in the human world has felt so natural for me. But I had a lot of time to work on handicrafts and stuff, because I can't magic it into existence like the other kids could.
Salt Wizard in the chat has a very specific mention of or archery. That feels like it's in reference to something that's too specific to just be a random comment.
Yeah, well, I'm an elf, of course, and my family are also elves, and so some of my family are into things such as outdoors activities, as humans would call them, fishing and archery and stuff. And I am absolutely awful at all of them. I am a disgrace to my kinfolk. I'm sorry. I like I like air conditioning and fast food and the internet
Oh boy,
and
do
video
we enjoy
games.
air conditioning.
I like big cities and I like the human world very much. I don't want to go back to the elf village. I go back for the holidays. But anyway, to get back to your overarching question, yeah, I guess I've had some degree of like drawing in notebooks, doodling on papers and things, making crafts, you know, out of twigs and leaves and all sorts of things, and beads and stuff. I've always enjoyed making crafts, working with my hands. And as I got older and had access to more different types of materials, I just kept doing it. I'm largely self-taught in terms of what artistic ability I have. Having access to the internet helped immensely. I think I really grew the most when I started to become exposed to the larger world of illustration and things like DeviantArt and stuff. And some of those old school Illustrator portfolio websites. But yeah, I think that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna actually try. I'm gonna try to look at the things that I think are good, and I'm gonna try to get better. And yeah, so I'd say overall, I've had a pretty on and off relationship with art. There's times when I've been really, really into it and grown quickly, and times where I haven't been too into it and I've stagnated. But it's definitely been a lifelong passion of mine, and it's just there's something about the satisfaction of making something and it turns out well, and then you show people and they like it and it makes them smile, and that never gets old to me.
And even if you can't use Magic, you have enjoyed Magic the Gathering, and especially the art. And you mentioned to me that there was actually this particular piece that you drew a lot when you were younger. It's
That's correct.
Much older card called Herald of Sarah, and
there
that this is one that you used very early on to sort of hone your art skills.
Okay, well, I can tell you the whole story of this. And this will actually, I think, be a new story to any LEAFBUDs watching too. But yeah, I did mention that I like oil paint, but that was something I only got into fairly recently, about a couple decades ago. So only very recently did I get into oil painting. But I started off just, you know, as most people do, just pencil and paper, pen, line notebook paper, you know, nothing fancy. And I remember one day I had a copy of Scry, the magazine Scry. This is going way back, when if you wanted to find out how much your Magic cards were worth, you had to buy a magazine that had prices. And so I had a copy of Scry, and I poured through that one copy so many times. And I remember Matthew Wilson's Herald of Sarah was on the cover, and I thought I was like, this is the most beautiful piece of art I've ever seen. I had never seen anything like it. I traced it, I copied it, I tried to redraw her in other pose. It's like it's kind of it was like the shape of her hair, the way it was shaded, you know. I was like, wow, this is awesome. And a lot of the other artwork that was in that same issue too. I wonder if I could find it archived somewhere online. That would be interesting. But yeah, Magic the Gathering was the first TCG trading card game I was ever introduced to after coming to the human world. And because of that, it still holds like a really, really special place in my heart. Even though I've never been good at playing the game, even though I was never much of a deck builder, anytime I ever joined any kind of competition, kitchen table or organized, I always lost. But even so, it'll always hold a really special place in my heart because of it being the first one that I played. And every other time I play any other trading card game, I'm like, oh, this has mana just like Magic. Oh, this has power and toughness. That's like Magic.
Yep,
like I remember playing Hearthstone for the first time. It's like
so many games queued off of Magic system, and that there are plenty that don't. But I'd venture that about half of modern TCGs take certain elements from Magic, and part of that comes from
Mm.
Magic being the first actual TCG. Do you actually know the origins of the game and what its initial design concept was for, what the game was supposed to be?
I'm not sure that I do actually. I've only recently started to learn about like really vintage Magic. Like I've gotten into some content creators who like unbox and talk about vintage Magic and stuff, and I found it very interesting.
If you're getting into like the vintage stuff in terms of like gameplay and deeper history and art, I don't know too much, but the initial concept of the game was it was supposed to be something that people could play between sessions of Dungeons and Dragons, or while you're waiting for friends to arrive. Because, you know, if you have 4 or 5 people in your play group, but not everyone's there yet, it's a short little game, or, you know, when you're taking breaks, that it's something that you can pick up, put down very easily. It doesn't require a lot of setup. You don't need a board or anything, that it's just, all right, you have these cards and you play the game, and it's nice and simple. And that
Interesting.
Obviously then not only went on to be acquired by the company that makes Dungeons and Dragons, but arguably became bigger than Dungeons and Dragons. It depends on what metric you use for that, but bottom line is, you know, it became the juggernaut that we know it as today, and it's past its 30-year mark and is still going
hasn't really
very,
been
very
that long
strong.
already. My goodness.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember first getting like booster packs of 5th edition. Like that's when I was playing the game. Quite a long time ago. Like 4th, 5th edition. I have a lot of cards from Tempest. I think I have a couple Mirage. I have some like Onslaught. It's all the way back then. And I got back into the game a few times. Every time I was into the game was directly related to having people to play with. So having family that was into it, or friends that were into it. So like having friends would be like, oh, let's go to the Theros pre-release or something. It's like, okay. But when I no longer had people to play with, it's like, okay, I can't justify spending money on it. But it's always something that every time a new set drops, I go on Scryfall and I look at all the art.
Yeah.
And oh my god, Bloombro recently is like the cutest set they've ever made, and I want to get a collector's box, but I can't justify it.
Collector's box is really expensive.
For reference, for anyone who Magic the Gathering came out with a set inspired by the Red Wall. So
yeah,
it's like little mice with swords, and otters casting spells, and frog wizards, and raccoon necromancers. Stuff. It's so cute.
What I would do, if there's particular cards that you like, always buy singles, never buy booster packs. Yes, you can make content out of booster openings, but I feel like, you know, pick a couple of ones you want, and that assuming that they're not competitive playable, that you can get the different really nice art variants and foils usually for just a couple bucks, and that you know, you could, you know, if you want to do a hand cam stream and, you know, make content out of it that way, tax write-off, woo!
Well, I have dipped my toes a tiny bit into TCG content by I was actually offered the opportunity to do an unboxing of Rift Runners, which is a VTuber TCG, and that was really cool, very impressive for the first release from them, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from them in the future.
I'm curious to see how there's like 4 or 5 VTuber TCGs that all kind of popped up at the same time. That there was Rift Runners, V-Card, Oshi Push. I'm not counting Weiss Schwartz. I'm not even going to count the whole live TCG that they're rolling out later this year. I feel like there was one other, but that there was just a slew of them very quickly. Rift Runners, I think, does have the distinction of being first to market, though.
Yes, it does. And another thing, and I have to say I was very impressed with it. I'll be looking forward to future releases. It's such a cool feeling to like see mutuals of mine on trading cards. It's so cool.
I really respected that their entire design was just, we're going to get not mainstream VTubers. That you know, it wasn't going to be necessarily the obvious of, you know, big agency folks, but that just, you know, average VTubers folks that are in the community, and that they're giving opportunities to folks that larger corporations aren't necessarily going to look at. And I think that's really, really cool. And I really hope that they're going to be able to continue doing the stuff that they do, because I've seen some of the cards, and it's not simple putting together, all of those assets, and just the printing and the logistics of it all, the distribution. It takes a lot. So much respect to the team behind Rift Runners.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And even just as a collectible for fans, I mean, it's a fully playable game as well. And I think I saw that they're coming out with pre-made decks soon, which I think is going to be fantastic for the game. But even just from a collector's point of view, the art is really good. And the cards are good quality. The printing quality is really good. These are the kind of things that like I especially appreciate after like seeing modern Magic cards come out of the pack bent and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've always I think I'm just of that generation where shiny cardboard will always mean something special to me.
Yeah. My interaction with Magic has been a relatively unique one, that I grew up knowing about it. That, I was into Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Very, very, very early on. That I have base set Pokemon cards, and that I remember opening base set booster packs and going through all that. Sort of fell off Pokemon from a TCG standpoint around Gen 3. I've still played all the games, never dropped the games. It was just the cards that I fell out of, because I fell into Yu-Gi-Oh! Around that time. And I did, tabletop level stuff, 1 or 2 local tournaments, and I was lucky to go 50-50 on wins and losses. For those, I was not particularly adept at deck building or anything. And then it was about 10 years ago that I moved to an area that didn't really have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Scene. And so I was playing, okay, I'm probably just done with TCGs for the foreseeable future, and that's fine. And a friend said, oh, you should pick up Magic. And I was like, well, I don't want to, invest in this new game, and I've never really enjoyed deck construction anyways. And he said, let me tell you about a thing called Draft. And it was all over for me, Maple.
Yeah, I've never played Draft myself.
Draft is so good.
It kind of intimidates me, so I've never tried it yet. But
I can understand how it's intimidating. So for those who aren't familiar, Draft is it's called a limited format, where you don't go to the event with a pre-made deck. You do not need to buy any cards in advance. You just show up. You usually pay, $15 or whatever, and you get 3 booster packs. Sit down at a table with usually 7 other folks, so it's 8 people in a pod. You open 1 booster pack, pick out 1 card, pass the rest of the cards to your left. That means you're being passed cards from the right. You pick up the cards you were passed, pick out another card, pass. Repeat that process until there's no cards, then repeat it twice more for the other 2 packs, and then build a deck. And that there is this whole game before the game of the card evaluation and figuring out, okay, it's at the start of pack 3, and I've got a lot of creatures but don't have many removal spells, or maybe it's the opposite, and keeping track of that and trying to figure out, okay, it's pick 7, and there's this really good green card. Why is this green card here? That tells me that the folks passing me probably aren't in green. So there's a lot of strategy, and it is very complex if you were to just jump in with no context. But there are ways to, it's all about heuristics. It's all about generalizations and knowledge that if you understand how to play Magic, end up being rather intuitive as soon as someone says it. That I don't think it's actually that difficult to get into Draft. If there's a bunch of different podcasts or articles that can give you the basics, but that on its surface from the outside, Draft is a terrifying format. So if it is ever of interest, I'd be happy to show you the ropes, but also, I can understand why it looks intimidating.
Yeah, I think it's, I've never been the best at deck building to begin with, and also, I feel like
you don't need to be good at deck building. Everyone's working with just commons and uncommons, and like 1 or 2 rares. It's great.
I know, but you know the concept in Magic the Gathering of the 3-player archetypes?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was what is it again? Timmy,
Johnny,
Spike, and Johnny. Timmy, Johnny, and Spike. And those are Timmy is the casual player who likes big creatures that do a lot of damage and go pew pew pew. And then you've got Johnny, who likes to make combos of cards, and then Spike is like the ultra hardcore guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
ultra hardcore competitive guy, to my recollection. I am ultra Timmy. So I feel like if I sit down at a table of Johnnies and Spikes, I'm gonna get stomped every single time, and that's very intimidating. If I was playing with a bunch of other Timmies like myself, I think that would be fun. A bunch of other casual players who are like, oh, she's pretty. Oh, this guy looks cool. Oh, a big monster. Oh, fireball. Whoa!
That's very fair. Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be. I'm gonna choose the mouse. It's cute. What color is it? Who cares? That kind of thing.
That's one of the great things about Magic. You don't need to know any of the rules to appreciate the art.
I do know about like the basic colors and color synergy and enemies and stuff like that. I used to play. I used to have a green-black deck that I enjoyed, and I had a blue-white, of course, classic flyer blue-white with a bit of control in there. But yeah, I have a great fondness for the game and the art and everything, and I probably always will.
Hopping around a bit, you mentioned earlier that you aren't taking commissions right now, but similar to you designing your own model and everything, you have technically designed somebody else's. I'm not sure if it was a proper commission or not, but we do have Kana.
Well, yeah, I've done a couple. I have done some commissions in the past, although Kana-chan, kawaii. Sorry, I have done a few different commissions, kind of more on an individual basis. Like people reach out to me in DMs, and I happen to have time. It's like, okay. Or if they're a friend or acquaintance of mine already, it's like, yeah, let me try to help you out with this. So while I haven't ever like properly opened commissions, I have done some commissions in my time active as a streamer. And yeah, so I've done some character designs. Kana was a turnaround sheet that I did for my friend Nanase Kain. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. I always forget him.
It was a very powerful April Fool's joke.
Very. So honored to help out with that. I did some other character design stuff. I've made some GIFs for other VTuber friends of mine, and I also had the great honor of making the debut promotional image for Joshiko Productions. So that was a piece that I really put a lot of time and effort into that I'm quite proud of. And that's actually available right now on their merchandise store as a poster.
That's right. I knew I'd seen it before.
Yeah, it's available on their merch store as a poster. So if you enjoy the Joshiko talents, please see if that's something you'd be interested in grabbing. But yeah.
Right here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Joshiko Pro, wonderful group, and I actually had Margot on the show not too long ago.
That's great. You've had so many people on the show. I am so honored. I have to reiterate that I'm so honored to be among the guests of the institution that is Vtuber Talk.
I'm the honored one. I'm the lucky one that I'm just a guy, and I've been very fortunate to have people be very, very generous with their time to come on my little show and chat with me for a couple hours.
Well, more than happy to, especially when I get to yap about nerd stuff.
Well, speaking of things to yap about nerd stuff, I have to ask one question first, and then we get into the broader discussion. And starting from the top here, does Sonic Maple have lore?
Oh, here it came up. Okay, there is lore. There is lore to the existence of this drawing. So last year, I did a charity event for the Canadian Children's Hospital, the Hospital for Sick Children, and the LEAFBUDs raised $2,000 for that event. And they raised a total of $3,000 for children's charities in 2023. which is really incredible and makes me so happy that I was able to be a part of helping them make that happen. But as one of the rewards for raising money for sick kids, I promised that I would do a themed karaoke. And we chose Crush 40 as the theme.
This makes me so happy, Maple. I'm not joking. I unironically love Crush 40. We're going to get into this later, but like, is there a VOD of this? Is this on your VOD channel?
There is a VOD, but I don't think I uploaded it yet because I was worried about copyright. But I think, given it's Sonic music, it might be okay. I have to look into getting that up.
Usually skirts the line.
Yeah, I have to. That's right. It's not up yet, but I have to look into getting that up.
And at the very least, it strikes me as something that if you were to upload it, YouTube's system would detect it while it's processing and rendering, and it would tell you before you published it, that it would say, hey, if you're going to do this, that this will be blocked. I would think / hope, but then again, I don't know if I should necessarily say that, because we all know that YouTube is, shall we say, somewhat inconsistent and does not always like to be communicative, so I can very much understand your hesitance.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even on Twitch nowadays, it's unsure what the future of karaoke is going to be. But let's not get into gloomy topics. I saw a comment in the chat. What is Crush 40? So the games Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, originally on the Dreamcast, but I played them on the GameCube.
Yep.
As well as Sonic Heroes, and I think a few other later 3D. Yeah, quite a few of the 3D Sonic games had Crush 40
music. That has lyrics is Crush 40.
Yeah. It's a group, a band that did a lot of the vocal character themes and stuff. Live and learn. Stuff like that. They did all of those, and those games have a very special place in my heart. I love them. Sonic Adventure 2 was another game that I got super into at the time, and I thought, as the extra cherry on top, to make this themed karaoke even better, and as an apology for it being very late, because
don't worry, I still have to pay off certain charity rewards from my one in January. Thank goodness nobody ever actually bothers to ask me about it.
Yeah, I have some unfinished as well, because I didn't anticipate actually hitting all of the goals that I set. I thought maybe we would get to half.
Fun fact, I became a VTuber because of basically that.
Really?
Yep. So every year I have a annual charity marathon. That is what I do for my anniversary.
Oh, that's wonderful.
My channel has always been unmonetized by choice. I don't celebrate my birthday, and that when it came to time for the first anniversary stream, I was like, well, I'm not going to do a subathon or anything, but, I could do a charity event. I've always enjoyed doing stuff like that, and put out the invite to literally every past guest and was able to get 30 folks in on it, and we raised $4,000 for Child's Play charity. And
that's amazing!
Then I was like, well, I guess this is going to be a thing now. So year 2, the gag goal has always been, if we raise $10,000 in a year, I will tell my parents about Vtuber Talk, because they still do not know. We have not reached that goal yet. I'm getting increasingly worried about it, though. But year 2, I basically had plans for goals up through $5,000, and then it was like, I'll think of something, I guess. And we hit $5,000, and then we were quickly approaching 6,000, and then getting close to 7. I was like, okay, chat, you just throw out ideas. What do you want for a goal or for a milestone thing? And somebody said, make a mascot. Make a mascot for VTuber Talk. I was like, sure, fine, I can do that. I can commission someone to do art for that. That's an easy enough little thing. Because at this point in time, for the first 3 years of VTuber Talk, I was a disembodied voice. I did not have a model. That it was just the voice of God. That I had the guest on screen, And that was it. And that was generally the idea because I never had inspiration for a VTuber model. It just wasn't something that really it's not something I felt particularly driven for, nor did I have a concept in mind. But okay, I'm going to make a mascot, and the pretty obvious place for the mascot was going to be a microphone because, you know, I'm not going to make it a lion for VTuber Talk. That doesn't make sense.
No, I think it's very inspired. It's
but
perfectly
the plan wasn't
thematic.
for it to be a VTuber. It was just supposed to be, all right, you know, here's the art of Talkie, the VTuber Talk mascot. And, you know, we publish the art, and there we go. I have fulfilled this goal, and, you know, maybe I'd keep the PNG for something, I don't know. But when I got the initial design back, that I had it in the back of my head of, okay, if I were to really like the design, maybe I would consider getting it rigged. Because, like I said, I'd never really had a concept, but I don't know. And when I got this design back, it was the first time I said, oh, that... I never wanted to be, like, a human. I never wanted to be a monster or anything, but, you know, I could be a little guy. I could be a silly little guy. I can get behind this. So, got it rigged, and here we are.
Oh, it's a wonderful little mascot. It's very well rigged, too. The eyes are very expressive.
Is that this is done by CAPTCRABS, who was on the show way back in the day, and I knew right away that I wanted him to design the mascot, that his style has always been very cutesy, and these eyes are very, not entirely universal, but he uses this style of eyes on, I would say, 80% of his models, and that it was exactly what I wanted. And then just for funsies, I got two others from a past guest, the PIPSQUEAK model from Strawberry, and then the wobbly Matryoshka model from, this one's from PUMPIINO.
Oh, PUMPIINO! Cute, very cute.
Yeah. So that ended up happening, and by the by, like I mentioned, I always invite all past guests, so you'll be hearing from me in probably December-ish for the 4th anniversary charity marathon, so yay!
Oh, I would love to!
I will have all of the goals done by then. That's the deadline I've set for myself. If I still have to do a cover song, a mahjong stream, I feel like there's one other. It might just be those. I think it's just that. Yeah.
Yeah, I also have some outstanding rewards from a year ago, but I'm gonna aim to get them done by the end of the month.
We'll get there eventually.
But the important lesson I learned is to not underestimate the LEAFBUDs. They are tiny and cuddly, but they are mighty, and they are not to be underestimated.
Very good job.
Yeah. They're an incredibly kind and generous community. So I count myself as extremely lucky.
And with that Sonic model shown, I would be remiss if I did not mention that as of day of broadcast, we got the first trailer for Sonic 3, the movie, today.
We did!
And that, like you, Sonic Adventure 2 is a game. It is one of the first games that I ever played on the GameCube. It was the first video game soundtrack I ever owned. I spent hours on that sound test screen, Maple. And like I said, I adore Crush 40 unironically. And just the game overall of Sonic Adventure 2 is my favorite in the series, and it's not close. It's not close at all.
If I may, if we're going to get down this rabbit hole, even but briefly, may I change into something more?
Oh, please, by all
fitting.
means.
All right, how do I do this? The cat's already out of the bag, so might as well.
Might as well.
Hi, it's still me.
Yay! Oh, one sec. Let me.
So I drew and rigged this as well.
And that the fact that you're able to do that you're so powerful. People who are able to that are able to model and rig their own stuff, just they can do anything, and that they can do incredible, crazy stuff like this just on a whim because it's like, you know what? I want a Sonic model, so it's going to happen.
Yeah, the eyes are a little bit glitchy. They were made for a different type of tracking than the tracking I'm using right now, and the eyes are kind of wacky.
It still works, but
it could use a little fixing up. But yeah, this was like the little. My apology for being so late with the charity stream was to
go the extra mile on that one.
Let's really go for it. If we're gonna do all Sonic Adventure music, I'm gonna be a Sonic OC. We're
Don't
going
worry,
back.
the model
We're
still
going
works
back.
better than the ones in 06.
We're going all the way back. We're going all the way back to like the Neopet Sonic OC days. Look, once you know how to draw Mobius characters, you never forget.
It is such a distinct style. And that to think we almost didn't get that distinct style in the original Sonic movie, and then the development path of the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie is an all-timer, and I don't know if we're ever going to see something like that again. The fact that we saw a major studio, Paramount, backtrack and go back to the drawing board it's still kind of unthinkable. The fact that they said, okay, there are so many studios that would just sort of through their team there to be like, okay, folks will still come to see the movie to see how bad it is, maybe, or okay, we think the charm of the movie and that the script and the action is going to overshadow any qualms that people have with the model, or you know, if this does well, that we'll update the model for the second movie. But that they actually said, okay, we're gonna push this movie back by however many months and just redo the whole thing. And I'm so happy that we live in this timeline, because if they didn't do that, I don't know if it gets past the first movie. I genuinely do not think that we get past the first movie to get Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah, I have to say, I remember waiting for the first Sonic movie to come out, and I was like very not optimistic. Like, we all know that video game movies do not have the greatest track record, and it's gotten better in the last few years. It really has, but it's been rough. It has been rough for a very long time. And so when I was like, they're making a Sonic, oh god, no, don't do it. But then I watched the first Sonic movie with the updated Sonic. And you know what? I was very pleasantly surprised. It definitely has the tone of a kid's movie, which is totally fine, as it should.
Sonic is a kid's game.
It is. But I was really quite happily surprised, and by the second movie as well. It kind of shared the same thing I didn't like about Sonic X, is that it has too many humans in it.
Yeah, I feel like that's sort of the universal complaint.
Yeah, it's like, I don't really care about the romance drama of the humans. I really don't. But you know, they got to put something in there to make it relatable, I guess.
And also
it's
budget.
Yeah. Anytime with Sonic not on the screen is time that you don't have to spend on 3D animators.
Yep.
But yeah.
I enjoyed the first movie. The second movie was delightful, and then when they had the stinger of Shadow, it was all over for me. I was like, oh, because you can't show Shadow and have it be in that fashion to basically not do something probably with Sonic Adventure 2 that it wasn't necessarily clear, okay, how much are they going to do with it?
Oh, my eyes are going crazy.
But that potential, and that now we have the first trailer, and I guess sort of spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen the trailer, that unsurprisingly, it's not going to be a one-for-one remake of Sonic Adventure 2. I didn't expect that, but there are certain things that are very obvious, and then there's others that I think I'm noticing subtly. First off, what did you think of the trailer? Was there any favorite parts of it?
I like the part near the end where the music goes da-na-na-na. That got me hyped. That got me extremely hyped.
My wish list for the movie was satisfied in February whenever they showed that stinger of the line that I said. And many times on this very show in the past several years, I always said, put Crush 40 in the movie, you cowards. They paid to have Uptown Funk used in the second movie, and if you can pay for a top 40 Billboard hit, you can afford whatever the heck Crush 40 is asking on their licensing or royalty fees.
Yeah, and just that alone gives me, like, seriously, just hearing that alone, and that they're doing Sonic Shadow Story, which means they brought back Crush 40, they're doing Shadow Story, meaning we're probably gonna get Maria, meaning we might get some stuff of the moon or something. Eggman is looking more like himself in the games than he ever has. I think it's going to be you know, do you know that famous meme of the guy watching Star Wars: A New Hope and crying?
I know things of people watching things and crying. I don't know the Star Wars Episode 1 in particular.
Or like, no, episode 7, the new Disney one. Anyway, point is that's gonna be me, I think.
I'm
watching big screen Sonic Adventure 2.
I don't normally watch trailers for movies. That usually I like to go into movies just not knowing what's gonna happen. But for this one, I am letting myself just go, full brain rot, full fandom, and that I went frame by frame with a friend earlier today of just, okay.
Oh, really?
So I think that might be how they're going to do Space Colony Arc. And, okay, so they changed
think they're going to do Arc?
So, you said you have seen the trailer, right?
Yeah, I saw it. I didn't go frame by frame, though. I just saw it once.
There's a big shot of this giant ship emerging from a river. And
yes.
It's a large dome that looks approximately the size of Ark. I'm wondering if Ark, similar to, having Sonic and the other characters, that's budget of going to space and doing all that type of stuff. That's going to be budget too. So I'm anticipating them having workarounds. And I wonder if their workaround is going to be, okay, Ark isn't already in orbit, but what we do is we have Ark on Earth and that we're using, be it Chaos Emeralds or other power source, and that they are trying to power Ark up into the atmosphere to then let it fall, so you still have the same effective threat. But that you then don't necessarily need to actually have it go up into space and have that be where we spend a lot of our time. It didn't feel like anything in the trailer was Act 3, so there's still plenty.
I hope not.
And I'm anticipating there will be other trailers, so we're working with incredibly incomplete information right now, but this is half the fun of, all right, let's have our wild speculations.
Yeah, I probably will not be watching any more trailers because I don't want any more spoilers, like you said. I want to go into it. I want to go into it fresh, and be pleasantly surprised by how much of the original game is in there versus trailers. They always spoil everything, and I greatly dislike that.
I feel like it's gotten. I've seen some old trailers, like back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, that are just, okay, you showed me the entire movie. And then I think we hit peak trailer design in the 2010s, where there was still a lot of mystery around it. And I think we're swinging back in the wrong direction of Into the Spider-Verse. Everything is in the trailer. And I didn't expect that. I kind of expected that there were going to be more things that weren't in the trailer. So when I saw the movie, I was actually really disappointed. But,
yeah, I tend to look, all the Sonic 3 movie needs to do is put a tiny, just put those, look, the teaser that came out where they put like a little bit of red in the trailer, the 3 notes from Live and Learn, and was like Sonic 3. That's all I needed. I'm going to the theater.
Yeah.
I'm getting a seat. Like that's all you needed for me.
Yeah.
But I also recognize that I'm not the target audience for these movies. It's kids. So.
Sizzle Monty, they do need to give Shadow a gun. Well, they did give him the motorcycle.
Yeah, with like an Akira scene.
Yeah, full on Akira slide. And Gun has guns, so I could believe that they would let him pick it up, because the guns that Gun has are sci-fi-esque blasters, that they aren't, realistic pistols and whatnot. So I wouldn't be surprised if they let him pick up one and, I don't think they'd let him point it at a human, but that, maybe he'd pick it up and shoot a hanging sign to make it fall on somebody.
Yeah, or shoot some of the robots or something. Yeah.
Yeah. That
was another thing in the earlier Sonic movies. They brought like some of the robot designs from Sonic Adventure 2, like some of those floating robots that you jump between, that you use as kind of jump between them. I forgot the name of that, but that move.
Yeah, homing attack.
Yeah, homing attack, exactly. That you homing attack to get across platforms. They brought those back, or something inspired by them, it seemed like. So, yeah, I like these. Honestly, they like video game media has gotten a lot better. The Sonic, the Mario movie that came out recently, that was quite good. I have my qualms. I have a few qualms. I think the voice work could have been a lot better. It could have been more on character for my liking, but again, I am also not the target market for this movie. I recognize that.
I'll give Chris Pratt credit that he did a lot better than I expected. That I found myself throughout the movie forgetting that I was listening to Chris Pratt, and I think that's something.
I will give him that. And I think Luigi was pretty good too. But I think Peach. I've talked about this with the LEAFBUDs a little bit, but like they made Peach like I have to protect my toads in my kingdom, when it should have been like, I have to protect my toads in my kingdom. It should have been like, she can still be a tough girl boss because she always has been, and still sound like airy and wispy. The two aren't mutually exclusive, and I get why they did it. And I know that I'm being like a purist,
it's an interesting
fun
choice,
killer.
Because basically they went with normal voices across the board. It was pretty clear as soon as they announced Chris Pratt that it was okay. We're just going to be dealing with normal sounding voice acting. We're not going to have folks going into those super high registers. I will agree that the performance was fine. There was nothing wrong with the performance, but I do agree. I wish it had been Peach's voice diverged from expectations from source material to an even greater degree than Mario's, and it was a bit jarring.
And I got used to it. It didn't bother me that much after, but I do think that a fan redub, if that ever happens one day, would be pretty choice. If like some fans got together and redubbed the main characters. Some of them, like Toad was perfect. Toad was absolutely perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. Like it was a very, very high quality movie.
I also like
and I loved rewatching it. And looking at all like the little mentions. There was one scene where the Gusty Garden Galaxy song from Mario Galaxy came in. And I was like, I clapped. I swear, I was that person. I was annoying, but Galaxy is one of my favorite games of all time. So that made me very happy to hear it.
He's so good.
To hear that.
Everything except Luigi's purple coins.
Yeah, I've never 100%ed it. I'm not very good at video games.
I 99%ed it. I beat everything except Luigi's purple coins, and after 2 hours, I said I'm done. It's such an annoying level, Maple. It's such an annoying level.
I trust you on that. I will say though, I actually do really enjoy the first Mario movie that came out.
Oh, the '93 one. It's such a fascinating film to go back and watch, and even crazier when you look into its production history. 6 scripts and 7 writers.
Yep, all the actors were drunk. Set designs by the Blade Runner guys. Like, they basically wanted to make like this biopunk dystopia sci-fi movie,
well,
and
that
then
was
they
at
were
least
like,
one of the iterations. At one point, it was supposed to be like high fantasy. At one point, it was supposed to be more realistic. At one point, it was supposed to be the cyberpunk dystopia type of thing. And there's actually a website that has the chronology and all the different script drafts. Yes, and the thing is,
I'd be so curious to see that.
The last script that they have for the final version still doesn't match the movie. That they changed significant portions, seemingly during filming,
I bet. But yeah, that was like always. That's always been, kind of held up as an example of bad video game movies. But it's not a bad movie. It's a bad
Mario movie.
It's a bad Mario movie, but it's not a bad movie. It makes me smile ear to ear the whole way through.
Oh yeah,
I've done watch-alongs with it with my viewers. I love that movie.
It's very fun and silly, and not actually the worst thing ever if it wasn't called Mario. And even as a Mario thing, if anything, it's so fascinating to watch and see, okay, so this is how they chose to portray that it's, I look at it and say, well, I wouldn't have made these decisions, but wow, that was an interesting decision they made. And that it's what a crazy thing, and it's understandable why Nintendo didn't want to try again for 30 years.
Yeah, oh, absolutely understandable. I mean, it may objectively be a bad movie, but I still like it, and that means it's a good movie to me.
And if anything, it's probably,
I know that's unpopular.
The fact that it is now such a, I don't even want to say a punchline, but such a historical film in and of itself, that it's probably endured more in public consciousness than it would have if it was just passable. If it was average, if it was okay, that would it have ended up being so prolific? But at the same time, if it had been passable, would that have given them the go-ahead to do more, and then would we have gotten greater things? We sadly do not live in that timeline to know, but it is a movie of all time.
Well, I think my favorite thing about the movie is that it gave us the critical piece of canon of what their last names are.
Mario.
What's your name? Mario. Mario. And what's your name? Luigi Mario.
What type of cruel parents do that?
That always makes me laugh. Even now, it makes me laugh. Anyway, can I be an elf again?
Please, by all means, you act like I forced you into that.
Okay, I'm gonna be an elf again.
Name's Mario, but you can call me Mario.
Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. I'm just kind of floating around, moving myself back.
And unfortunately, my heart breaks for the not Fallout fans, Borderlands fans, because while I haven't seen it, we seem to have a new entry among the not so stellar video game movie adaptations.
Yeah, I can't say I've really paid much attention to that or have much interest in it. Borderlands 2 was a really fun game though.
Yeah.
That's all I know about it.
Borderlands has a better game track record than Sonic does over the past 20 years, and Sonic has a better film track record than Borderlands over the past 20 years.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's been I don't know, it's exciting to see adaptations of these properties that we love. And
is there anything that you would like to see an adaptation of that we haven't gotten yet? Something you think we really would be able to make that jump from video game to film?
Don't do it for Zelda. Don't do it. Don't do it. We don't need a Zelda movie. It's okay. It's gonna be so bad.
If they have to do Zelda, I would want a series.
It's gonna be so bad.
Give me Game of Thrones-esque series with Zelda if you have to adapt it, but I also agree I'm fine without a Zelda film or series. But I think of a Zelda movie, the Zelda games are too long and complex. The reason, in my opinion, that Mario and Sonic work is because they are so incredibly light on characters and world building that it's just Mario beats Bowser. He does things, he jumps, and he has 2 or 3 very basic weapons. Sonic, he runs fast and he beats Robotnik. And
he likes
some of the games
dogs.
And some of the games do have very deep storylines, but it's not necessary for a Sonic game, that a lot of the early ones just don't. Legend of Zelda is so lore-centric in all of its iterations, even the early ones, that I worry that there's not going to be a way to do that with any satisfying degree in a 2.5-hour movie.
Yeah, well, the thing that really gets me, that I guess makes me feel as a longtime Zelda fan a little bit reassured is that if they do make an adaptation of Zelda, it's going to be Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom Zelda. It's not going to be Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask Zelda, because that version of Zelda has not existed for basically a generation. All of the young people who know Zelda and enjoy Zelda, they know. And this is crazy to think about, but this is just like humans age so fast. It's really I have to check myself sometimes, you know, being an elf and all. But
you say that though, but Ocarina of Time is all of 3 years older than Sonic Adventure 2.
I suppose, but I think I feel like the Sonic series peaked in a way in terms of fandom with Sonic Adventure 2. I think that was.
Oh, I agree.
I think that was a peak in the series that a lot of people remember really fondly, whereas and there hasn't been like a Breath of the Wild for the Sonic franchise, you know? There hasn't been like
fair. They tried it.
Like one of the yeah, and there's been some really good Sonic games lately from what I can tell in terms of like critical reception and things that people have told me. But they haven't had that mega hit the way that Zelda had with Breath of the Wild. So and I mean, Smash Brothers Link has the blue tunic. So I think we're gonna see, if we do see a Zelda series, we're gonna see Link with the blue tunic. We're gonna see Breath of the Wild version of Link. It's gonna be post-apocalyptic. It's gonna be that Link, and I think that actually might work better, to be honest, than the traditional green fairy boy. You know. Green,
other option I will accept. Just do Wind Waker, down to the style. Just make it animated. Just actually do the animated series.
Animated, I would have no problem with animated. Oh, speaking of animated series that we were robbed, we were robbed of a Cartoon Network Team Fortress 2 series.
Yes, we were. Angry. Meet the Team is some of the most incredible short-form animation, and it, like, the quality was ahead of its time. It was so clean. The writing was good, the acting was good.
Yeah, I truly love Team Fortress. There are a few games that I've touched on that are like really near and dear to me. Zelda franchise, Elder Scrolls franchise, Sonic Adventure, and Team Fortress 2 is another one that's like in my upper pantheon of like games that are the most special to me. I love TF2. It's I remember watching the Meet the videos on YouTube and like YouTube poops and like machinimas and stuff, and just being so incredibly charmed by the art style and the characters. And then I finally got my hands on the game, and it didn't make me motion sick. And that is huge for me because I get very sick with most first-person shooters, or at least I did at the time, that's for sure. So I didn't get motion sick. It was a team-based game, which I liked much better than anything I had tried before that was like deathmatch, like Counter-Strike or something. And it had all this character and charm, and I just fell in love with it, and even to this day, I absolutely adore Team Fortress. I quote it like I always. I have a joke with my viewers that if there's a bingo card of things that happen during a Maple Winter stream, the free space is Team Fortress 2 reference. And we also have monthly community Team Fortress game nights on a server that's hosted by one of the LEAFBUDs on our own server. So yeah, I really love it also because as a community night game, it's free, it's pretty casual, it's easy to get into. We play some music. It's a very fun time. But
do you have a favorite role?
I think my top 3 are probably right now soldier, medic, engineer in that order. But when I used to play a lot more way back in the day, I had like 500 hours as engineer or something. I was battle NG all the way. I think I used to be pretty good actually, but you know, with the passage of time, I get rusty. I lose my edge. So now I just like playing soldier with the black box. So I just hit people with splash damage, and I don't have to aim, and it's fun.
But yeah, the Meet
But
the Team
those
shorts were
yeah.
amazing, and then they had expiration date, and it felt like that was supposed to be either a pilot or sort of a proof of concept for, like you said, either a series or a movie.
Mm.
And it just feels like a incredible missed opportunity on Valve's part.
Mm. Yeah.
I'd love to look into production history to see if there were plans for something more that fell through.
Yeah, I suspect that, I think I remember hearing a rumor somewhere that expiration date, they were so perfectionist with it that it ended up taking too long to be viable to do into production. And that does seem like, that's believable to me. That's totally a
That
rumor.
scans on how Valve works.
This is completely a rumor. For posterity's sake, this is, take it with a grain of salt. I may be spreading misinformation on the internet, but that's a rumor that I heard that I would believe, because Valve is so has such attention to detail with stuff that I would believe that they really took their time and they made it perfect. But
yeah, and then when they said,
TV
could we scale this? No.
I think it probably, yeah, it's I think my personal speculation, it was probably something like that. But the TF2 comics are also incredible in both art and writing. If anyone hasn't checked those out, please do. They're so good. Just I don't know, those 9 goofy mercenaries have brought a lot of joy to myself and so many other people.
I can't believe the game is still active.
I know, it makes me so happy that it's alive. I've always said they don't need to make a TF3. It's perfect. It's a perfect game because it's kept alive by the fact that you can do custom servers. So something like Overwatch, if you want to play the game as it came out, Overwatch 1, like the launch version of Overwatch, and Overwatch is a game I really loved as well. I loved Overwatch. I played quite a lot of it. But every time they would change a character, like they would rework a character, like Symmetra got redone so many times. If I say I want to play the second version of Symmetra, you never can again. With TF2, if you say I want to play the game as it existed before the hat update, you can make a custom server and do exactly that. And I think that really helps keep it alive, that there's that flexibility of custom servers. Yeah.
Yeah. And just the fact that with hats alone, really, that it's not that it's sort of hobbling along and it has just a couple people, that I don't know what the exact numbers are, but it feels like there's still a good chunk of people that play it pretty regularly, and that it's just, for whatever it costs Valve to keep those servers running, that it, covers the server costs. So for them, it's, even if they're only making a couple $1,000 a month or whatever it might be on stuff that, since it's probably so cheap to run at this point, but they even did a pretty major update. And it's such a rare thing to see, especially in that genre, when you have things like Overwatch come and go in 5 years, and there's any number of live service games, and somehow Team Fortress 2 persists.
Yeah, it's it just makes me really happy that some of these old things are that I loved are still around and still exist. And
I have a theory.
I'm just so happy that it still exists and that I still get to play it.
I have a theory on the ultimate PR stunt that Valve can do. It's probably never, ever, ever going to happen, because keeping this stunt under wraps would be so difficult. But my vision of, if I had the power to design this and to implement a plan. You know how sometimes artists will drop secret albums and just, a new album from Beyonce or Taylor's, it's available on streaming services and iTunes, yada, yada, right now. Boom. Was never announced, to just drop right away. That one day, people open up Steam and that they just see the number 3 and that they call it 3. Because it is Team Fortress 3, Portal 3, and Half-Life 3. Everything from the orange box that has 2, because it at that time was Team Fortress 2 and Half-Life 2 and Portal 1, but they couldn't call it the Orange Box 2 because everything is 3, but imagine what that would do of just suddenly 3 of the biggest titles in Valve's library all getting their highly anticipated third entries simultaneously, and then the fact that it is mirroring the original Orange Box from however long ago, that it would be incredible. It's never going to happen. It'd be so cool.
Ayo, can we get Left 4 Dead 3 in there too? I love Left 4 Dead.
But as we all know, Valve has triskaphobia.
But yeah, Valve. I'm grateful to Valve for existing, for making games that are such
certainly
good
glad
memories, and that I can still play.
Yeah, and I'll take the Meet the Team and expiration date over nothing. Certainly, what a delightful little series that I still go back and watch them every so often. That they've aged incredibly well.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Might just rewatch them later, actually.
I think every time I get it in my mind, I need to do it too. It's like, especially Meet the Pyro, that was like the last. Meet the Pyro was the last one, I think.
Yeah.
And it was like so anticipated. Everyone was so excited about what it was going to do. And
man, that thing, it
scares me. I would sing the song, but I don't want to risk getting you in any trouble on the YouTube re-upload of this. Can I do one line?
Please.
Do you believe in magic in a young girl's heart? That's all I'll do. I don't want to get you in trouble.
If you get me DMCA'd from unbacked a cappella singing, I feel like there is no higher compliment. That if you somehow get flagged
maybe
by the system, that it detects, like I said, with what is currently Kirby music backing, that from the lyrics alone, that it can detect it, you should boast about that if that were to happen. It's like, I'm so good, I'm so close to the original, that the system flagged me from a sentence alone. I think the VOD's gonna be just fine.
Okay, I'm glad. I really do love singing. I don't sing as much on stream as I would like to, but I get in my head a little bit. I get stage fright. But I really do enjoy it, and I'd like to do more singing activities and get better at it in the future. I was briefly taking singing lessons a little bit last year, but then my teacher left the school that I was with, so.
Aww.
It was okay. It coincided with me also not having time anymore. But yeah, I think that would be something I'd want to pursue again in the future.
And I know
I wouldn't call myself a V singer or anything, but it's a hobby. It's fun. But
you are a fan of idols.
I am. I very much am. Very nice segue, by the way. You know how you mentioned that one of the fundamental things for a lot of VTubers is like Hatsune Miku, Vocaloids, that kind of like Nico Doga,
that's
early
very
YouTube
much where the
anime culture
of things came from, and that obviously people have taken it any number of directions since then, but you can trace a lot of early trends in particular, and certainly, at least from the agency side, that the early agencies were very much almost one-to-one designed after Japanese idol agencies, that was the template for it.
Certainly in many cases, yeah, but at the same time that I was enjoying Hatsune Miku, I discovered a franchise called The Idol Master.
Dun dun dun. Now, what was the first touch point? Because they have games, they had anime, there's...
I would watch YouTube videos. So the Idol Master franchise was originally an arcade game, but then it came out on consoles. And it was such a game where you could build your little unit of idols. And the thing that really made me amazed, and that I would watch these videos for hours, is that every single playable character in the game recorded every performable song in the game. So every single, and there was like a roster of songs of maybe like a dozen songs or so. So you could mix and match the characters, and they would sing their parts in the song in their own voice. So you could put in like Chihaya, Azusa, Iori relations, and you would get like their version of that song. And it was really like it was really I would just watch over and over, like, because the songs I really enjoyed the songs. It's like, oh, what does it sound like with these girls singing it? What does it sound like with these girls singing it? And I think the root of why I love idol stuff so much is because somewhere deep down, ever since I was a tiny elf, I've always like admired performers. I would like watch performers and be like, oh, I would see people playing instruments and like daydream about joining in and singing with them. Or I would watch a movie where like a woman goes on stage and performs in a sparkly dress, and I'd be like, oh, I wish that was me. Or if there'd be like some kind of solstice talent show or something, I'd be like, oh, I wish I were brave enough to go up on stage and try to do it. And I guess idols are like a anime version of the same thing. It's kind of like a kind of a wish fulfillment kind of fantasy, I guess, a little bit for me.
It's aspirational.
Aspirational. That's the perfect word for it. Yeah, like hardworking, following your dreams, trying to put out good energy and cheer people up and stuff, and become talented at conversation and entertainment and singing and dancing. And I know that there are people who may have much more cynical opinions about what an idol is, and I think there's a lot of people who have maybe different definitions, personal definitions of what they think an idol is. But for me, an idol is a professional cheerer-upper. And that's why I have aspiring idol in my Twitch bio. And although I don't believe that I've made too much headway toward that goal in the 3 years I've been streaming, and I wouldn't call myself an idol yet, certainly not. But I think a professional cheerer-upper is something that I would like to endeavor to be. So yeah.
Well, I definitely think that you're succeeding in that.
Oh, well, thank you. I try my best, truly, but I think I have a lot of skills that I would still like to improve on, and things about myself that I want to change and make even better, because I owe the LEAFBUD that. They're so incredibly kind to me, and I want to become a better streamer. And I'm going to stop this line of thinking, because otherwise I will cry. As we like to say, I'm sappy.
Boo. Boo. No.
I'm very sappy. It comes out of every pore. I can't help it. It runs through my veins, the syrup. But yeah, I think
and the Idolmaster series is still iconic today, and
it is. It is.
I haven't followed much Idolmaster media, but the original Idolmaster anime is still up there for me.
Yes, it is. The 2011
I saw like 2 or 3
right?
episodes of Cinderella Girls, and it was fine. But the original one,
the original is so good. Oh my god, Chihaya's character arc.
What an incredible ensemble show.
It's that was a masterpiece. I remember being so excited when that finally came out. And make no mistake, my love of idols does not end at 2D idols. I am also a fan of idols. I enjoy various J-pop and K-pop idols. I've been to a number of concerts and stuff. I even made a pilgrimage last year to the AKB48 theater that I was lucky enough to get a seat via lottery, and I got to see them in the Akihabara theater. And that was like, that's gonna be a lifelong memory right there, because I've been a fan of them for a very long time. As it turns out, many VTubers are. The more I talk to other VTubers who enjoy idol activities, it's like, do you like AKB? And they're like, yeah.
Yes, that's definitely a group name that I have heard many times over the years.
They're definitely past their heyday now, although they're still around, and they're still releasing some bangers. But I think for people who have been in the human world around as long as I have, again, back in those early days of like Miku and Vocaloid and Idolmaster and early YouTube and stuff, I think that's when they were in their prime. It was like very, very influential.
And if anything, I would go so far as to argue that VTubers are now the mainstream idols in a lot of ways. That
I mean, Hoshimachi Suisei recently had a collaboration stage with AKB48.
Yeah, and
which was like a really wild crossover of my interests. That was really cool to see.
And it might not be accurate to say that VTubers are now bigger than idols in Japan. I would argue that VTubers are bigger than idols in the West, though. That VTuber concerts, like the recent Hololive concerts, sold out silly fast, just absurdly fast, and that whenever Japanese idols come over to the U.S., that the number of times that they've come over, especially in the past 5 years, pretty few far between, and that the shows certainly sell well, but it doesn't feel like, and maybe this is because I'm an idol fan, maybe there's a lot of stuff that I'm just completely unaware of, but
it's a big niche. There's many facets of it, yeah.
And that I'm sure that idols, non-VTuber idols, are still much bigger than VTubers in Japan, but that it's been interesting to see the pretty rapid acceptance of what is effectively idol concerts in the West, coming sort of almost with the Trojan horse of VTubing.
Well, I think honestly, Japanese idols have never been particularly big in the West. They almost never do Western tours. It maybe once in a while they'll go to like Anime NYC, a group might, or
AX.
Anime or AX Anime Expo, maybe once in a blue moon. But I honestly think a big part of the increase of the enjoyment of that kind of media has come from K-pop, really, because K-pop became much more popular in the West and catered to the West a lot more with subtitled content. For instance, everything. I'm a fan of the K-pop group Twice, and all of their content is subbed on release. All their songs have English subs when they drop. Like the subtitle lyrics at the moment it drops. They put a lot of effort. All the variety shows have English subtitles. They put a lot of effort into accessibility for English-speaking fans. And that's something that the Japanese idol pop has never really done, and it's quite hard to be a fan of, honestly. But I think
that's a really interesting observation, and thinking about it, that makes sense. That it, certainly, I would argue that a significant reason why VTuber idol concerts have been able to grow so rapidly in the U.S. is because the lack of language barrier. The fact that they had Hololive English and other high-profile English-speaking VTubers to get folks in the door, because naturally language barrier is always going to be one of the biggest things. So the fact that K-pop has been so proactive about reducing the language barrier by being mindful of having subtitles on release for all their songs, whereas that isn't necessarily as common with J-pop, that scans of the people are naturally going to enjoy and become more invested in songs if they can understand the lyrics.
Yes, well, not only in the songs, but in the talents themselves. They can actually learn more about the talents. They can be like, oh my gosh, she's so literally me. They can feel more connected to them, and that's and look and kind of know them more as people. And I think that's an important part of what idols are about. And yeah, I think like the fact that nowadays even a Western artist will have a concert tour and everyone will have out their phones with the flash on as if they're like the light sticks. It's like it makes me very happy to see that, because the first time I ever went to an idol concert, I went to a Twice concert, and I remember that feeling of being in the middle of this huge sea of people and everyone had their light sticks out. They had radio technology in the light sticks, so they were pulsing to the music.
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
It was very cool. So when the music was like a calm song, all the lights would turn blue and pulse slowly, and if it was like an intense song, they would flash red in time with the music. And it was just this incredible feeling of camaraderie. And like, I remember a few times I looked away from the stage and I was just like looking around me. And it's just this ocean of people who are all kind of sharing this experience at the same time. And I think, and like cheering in unison and like chanting is a big part of like J-pop idol culture and stuff. And just this feeling of unity with so many other people. And honestly, I love that feeling. And I kind of get that feeling from like watching streams in a weird way. And that might be only a me thing, but like the feeling of sharing a moment with so many other people and like feeling like, oh, we're all here united in enjoyment and love of the same thing. It's very cozy.
That's the energy I get from conventions, and that people being in the same place to celebrate a thing, and that even if you don't know the person in front of or behind you in line, you know that you have something in common, and that while concerts certainly have a more active unity moment of, as the concert is ongoing, as people are chanting and waving light sticks or phones or whatever, that you're able to really look around in that moment and see that. But for conventions, that for 3 days, however many days, that you have all these people and that you can look around a dealer's hall or go to different panels, and just that's something that was very big for me. And the way that Vtuber Talk actually came about was because around 2020, conventions weren't happening. They certainly were not happening.
Yeah, that was a scary time.
And then when Holo Myth debuted, I happened to tune in because a friend had shown me a whole live clip from, I think it was a Matsuri clip, however many months before. And so when a thing goes across my timeline a couple days prior, it was like, Whole Live preparing to launch English branch. I was like, oh, well,
I remember the hype.
I wake up at around that hour anyways, so might as well just sort of tune in for that, see what it's about. And the energy in chat, seeing chat Zoom for Mori Calliope's debut was the closest thing I had felt to convention energy in about 9 months. And
it really,
was it.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. Like anytime that there's like a live concert event or a big event, or when you see like even on a smaller scale, like lately, I've been playing some pretty difficult games, like Mario Sunshine, Armored Core 6, Elden Ring, and even when I see my viewers like post claps and hypes and all sorts of cute emotes in the chat and eights, like I just knocked my phone over, sorry. and it just when I see that, it makes me so happy. It gives me like a little burst of that same feeling, and that's what I love about streaming. That's why I've always found streaming to be the most compelling form of media. It's been a media form that I've enjoyed for God, probably it's getting close to 2 decades now. Well, maybe not. Maybe more like maybe a little less. But I'm an elf. I have a hard time with human time scales.
It all starts to blur together.
It really does. But I've always found it compelling. Of like, I am sharing a moment in real time with other people. I'm not just watching a YouTube video that was made 2 years ago, which of course is great. I love watching like video essays and binging YouTube channels and stuff. But like that feeling of connectedness that you get with people.
Yeah.
Is I think exactly what you were saying, and it's I think that's always what has attracted me to it, and I've always wanted to be a streamer, and when I saw Hololive and I saw Kizuna Ai, and I thought, wait a minute, the software that they use for that, I can buy a license to it? I can learn how to do that? it's like, oh my God, yeah.
It was.
So I was like, I started right away. And it took me quite a long time to finish, to get myself to a point where I felt ready to begin. So I think I've been streaming for, what year did I start now? I don't remember. But it's been about 3 years now since I first started streaming. But I had the plan to begin a year earlier than I did, because again, elf time. I'm quite slow to complete things. Humans live on such a fast time scale compared to what I'm used to.
Yeah. Well, you still got there, and here we are. And speaking of
here
conventions, you've been to multiple.
Yes, I have. I have, amazingly enough. I enjoy attending conventions just as a guest. Sometimes I used to go with friends and stuff, but for the last quite a while, I just enjoy going alone. I just go by myself. I walk around. I enjoy the vibe. I look at the cosplays. I listen to music. If there's like live performances, I walk around the artist alley and the dealer's hall, and I take pictures and I buy stuff of like artists that I like. And it's very comfy. It's like a nice walkabout. And I actually had the immense honor to be a guest panelist at Anime North, which is Canada's largest fan-run convention that takes place in Southern Ontario. And I have been a guest for 3 consecutive years, unbelievably. And it has been it's a crazy feeling going from being an annual attendee of the convention to now being a guest of the convention, and having a chance to actually be part of the programming and speak to people and try to be helpful.
Pretty recent.
Yeah, it was just in May. It happens every year in May. So for the last 2 years, I've been involved in panels about kind of like how to become a VTuber, like what resources can you use to get started into doing it, like kind of where to start with live 2D, where to start in terms of thinking about character design. So I'm really proud that maybe I've been able to be a little bit helpful to some people, and just so incredibly honored and grateful to have had such an opportunity. And yeah, it's just I going from guest to going from attendee to like panelist was just I don't know how to put it. It's a strange feeling, but it makes me happy that I can give back to a convention that I've enjoyed for so many years.
Yeah.
Even if it's just in a tiny way as like one member of a panel,
Mm-hmm. And it's strange. I feel that conventions can learn a lot from VTubers in a lot of ways. That one of the big benefits of having a VTuber as a guest at a convention, that some do decide to attend in person, some will even show their face, some are comfortable with that, others are not, but that the conventions had never before been incentivized to attempt to bring in a guest via video call. And what sort of baffles me is I expected this to open the floodgates for some things that I consider pretty obvious. That one of the biggest struggles that conventions in the West have if they want to bring out Japanese talent, especially if you want to bring out someone from like an anime production studio, is one, the cost, visas, having to worry about all that. Then there's flights. And then if it's somebody from a production studio or someone who is an active seiyuu or something, that they have to work around their schedule of work, and that can they really be taking a week off? Because if you're going to and from Japan, that means you're probably gonna have to arrive at least a couple days early, make sure that you're able to sleep off the jet lag, and then
that's a 14-hour flight. That's a 14-hour flight.
It's a whole thing. But that video calls existed prior to VTubers, and nobody really thought to say, what if we just had, animator, seiyuu, producer, do a panel via Zoom? And I kind of figured after having VTubers that conventions would connect the dots there of like, okay, well, we've had guests stream in and do things via video call, why don't we just offer that to other guests? That let's save ourselves $4,000 for the visa and airfare and all this other stuff, and be able to bring in guests that we might not be able to anyways because they can't schedule to take a week off of work when they're actively producing anime every season, but they can take 2 hours of a given Saturday off to, step away from their work and then log back into work or whatever. And we even have technology now for virtual signatures. That there have been YouTubers that have it's one-to-one that they draw on a tablet or whatever program that they have, and that then a little mechanical arm on the other side draws it out so you can do the personalizations. And that is it the person's hand holding the pen? No, but in technicality, that signatures, the ink is not coming from the person's finger. So what does it necessarily matter if it is being held by the person's hand or if it's being held by a robot, so long as it is them that are doing the line strokes, that it is still their handwriting, it is still their original signature, that signature is going to be unique, and that you can have folks do those types of autographs completely remotely. And I'm waiting for conventions to realize you can do this for non-VTubers.
Well, I think things take time, and convention organizers, from what glimpses behind the scenes I have been fortunate enough to see, they work really hard, and they have to spin a lot of plates and work out things that you may not necessarily think about. But I think that as remote technology becomes easier and more accessible, I think we might see more stuff like that. I know that VTuber meet and greets with like a life-size screen or some kind of screen and a real-time two-way camera, like having a setup at a convention like that. I've been seeing more and more of those, mostly from people who have the ability to invest in it, so from companies. But I think I've always thought it's gonna be an amazing day one day to walk by an artist alley table, and behind the table is a screen with a VTuber selling their art. Like a monitor propped up where the chair is going to be. I'm seeing the future.
That's more challenging because how do they actually sell the stuff? They need someone to pick up the poster and hand it. They
would need like a flesh assistant of some kind. But the point is, I think that VTuber stuff. I think there's so much fun potential still that we haven't even thought of yet. And I did see a comment in chat. Surreal is the perfect word that I would use to explain like how it feels going from convention attendee to like part of it.
Also, LEAFBUD in chat says she goes to cons as a Cheez-It. That again feels like something very specific, that it is in reference to something. I don't think that is just a off the cuff comment.
Oh, that's a very cute nickname that Lifting Dude uses. He says, little Cheez-It.
Oh, okay.
It's very cute. It's like it's a little nickname.
Yeah, because I was like, wait, all right. There's a lot of cosplays out there. I've never seen someone cosplay a Cheez-It, nor could I understand why.
Yeah, you might see a bunch of them. You might see Goober, Mep, Syrup. I go by many names.
She's an elf of many names.
I think I love that. It's so sweet. It's very cute.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I forgot to mention. While we're still on the topic of conventions, before we move on, I actually also did. Not only did I do some kind of informational panels, but also for 2 years I was part of the D20 Live panels, which was like a live anime themed tabletop game.
Mm-hmm.
And they also have a Twitch channel, and they're going to be doing a charity stream soon, which I will be a part of. So
Ooh, how fun.
If you want to raise money for the I think it was I should know the exact name, but it's a Canadian charity for diabetes research, I think. So that's something that is coming up that I think will be very fun. But yeah.
Diabetes Canada.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. I couldn't remember if it was like...
I just looked it up right now.
I couldn't remember if there was like an of in there or something.
I would have expected it there to be of. I'm a little surprised myself,
like
so I can understand why
something
it would
like that.
Be,
Yeah.
But that's going to be on September 8th at 1
thank you,
p.m.
Corporal.
Eastern.
Yeah, so that's going to be coming up in a little bit. And it's going to be Fallout, which is going to be very cool, and there'll be other guests there as well. So, I have to say that 3 years ago, starting streaming and having like just a couple friends of mine watching, I never anticipated having the good fortune and opportunity to do as many things as I have, and I guess surreal really is the word for it, you know? I've been just incredibly fortunate and lucky, and just having fun.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. Just gotta keep having fun and keep going.
Well, it is starting to get late, and I don't want to keep you for too long, so I have just a couple last questions that I ask all my guests, and talking a little bit about things of the future and keeping going. Do you have any goals for the rest of 2024 that we're almost in September. That's really weird. Oh,
I know.
But there's still 3.5 months, and we've got to wait. Is it 4.5 months? Sorry, 4.5 months. I can math. But that we have 4.5 months, so not an insignificant amount of time, that there are things that can be done. So do you have any goals, whether it be a specific project or, I want to try this type of new stream, or I want to make a update to my model, anything at all that you're hoping to do before we hit 2025?
That's a tough question. I do have the problem of operating on elf time. So there are some things that I've been hoping to achieve that I have been working toward for almost since the beginning of starting streaming.
EST is just elf standard time.
Yeah. Look, one year for one, like, what's the conversion rate? It's like 1 to 10, really. It's like 10 years is like nothing for an elf. So honestly, I think I've been moving pretty quick.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're working off of free run logic. You've been doing this overnight.
Exactly. Oh, I related to that show a lot. I related to that show very much. That was a manga I was really happy to see get an animation. But to not go down another rabbit hole, there's a lot of things that there's a lot of goals that I still want to pursue. As far as for 2025, before the end of the year, I think I'd like to do another charity stream. And every year on the 21st of December, which is the winter solstice, that's an important day in my elf culture. And I always put on a special show for that day. So
also the day after the Sonic movie comes out.
Is it really? Oh, that's gonna put a wrench in my planning. Oh no! How am I gonna do my prep the day before if I have to go on Sonic? But yeah, it's that's something that's special that I try to put together every year. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to do some updates to my model. That's something I've been working on for a long time, but I'm crazy perfectionist. I mean, the way that I appear right now, as it is, already took me a year to begin with. So then updating it in such a way that that I improve it, but also stay true to how I look now. It's something that I am a chronic overthinker, to the nth degree. So I'm very much a perfectionist and an overthinker, and so it'll take me years to do things that maybe could have taken less if I wasn't so much like that. But
you operate like Valve did for the Team Fortress sorts.
Yep. That's why I'm saying Valve time, elf time, same thing.
Oh my gosh. No, Maple, you don't understand. I just had this vision. Okay, so Valve is a bunch of elves, and does that make Gabe Newell, like, is he Santa, or is he like the head Keebler elf or something? I don't know, but I'm now just imagining that Valve is run by elves.
Well, you know, I do have an uncle that works in accounts at the North Pole. So Gabe Newell is definitely not Santa. I can tell you that much. But yeah, I think before the end of 2025, I think I just I'd like to do a charity stream. I want to make the solstice stream as best as I can. I do have a my 3-year anniversary that I haven't celebrated yet, so I'm gonna try to do that in the near-ish future. And just keep having fun with the LEAFBUDs. Keep playing. I have a bunch of games in mind that I'm excited to play. That I think is gonna be really fun.
How close are you to the end of Mario Sunshine, or have you finished it?
I'm almost finished with Pianta Village.
Ooh,
I just finished the Goopy Volcano, which was agony, but we did it.
Yeah, gosh, I remember Mario Sunshine. I think I actually had to beat it with cheats for the last couple levels. Near the end, the lava lake, for whatever reason, I just kept having issues with it.
The lava lake, yeah, that's the one.
It's.
I think that's the one. Okay, wait. That's not the. Wait, that is. He's not talking about Goopy Volcano. Okay, never mind. I thought you're. Okay, never mind.
Now I'm not sure because it's been so long. Maybe I am. I'm like genuinely. This is not me trying to hide things. There's a 50% chance that I'm forgetting which.
If you're talking about a level. If you're talking about a level with lava that frustrated you, I spent over an hour on this one level with lava that frustrated me.
Was there a boat?
No.
Then it's not the one.
Okay, well, then that tells me that I have some more. I have some more. We've been calling it content.
Yes, indeed, it sure is content. And to this day,
the painful levels.
Like, to this day, my heart rate spikes whenever I hear an a cappella rendition of the Mario theme.
Do 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 do. Get a heart rate monitor on the stream.
How do they make something so playful sound so menacing?
It's the funniest thing too, because I've been playing Armored Core 6 and Super Mario Sunshine at the same time. And Armored Core 6, which is infamously hard, I've been beating bosses first try.
Yeah, I saw someone in chat earlier mention that apparently you were just a natural at it.
And Mario Sunshine, I have been stuck on simple geometry, not being able to correctly pull off a jump. I have been stuck for like an hour. It really is an incredible, it's hard to believe it's the same elf, but there you have it.
Turns out that wood elves are cracked in mecha combat. Who knew?
Yeah. I guess so.
And the last question I ask all my guests is, what does being a VTuber mean to you? And that's not the definition of a VTuber, but different people get different things from VTubing. And I've had folks say, being a VTuber lets me get in touch with my inner child, or lets me be someone I can't be in real life. Others have had a more, quote-unquote, professional or clinical, perhaps, approach of, I enjoy my model. I don't necessarily have a deep emotional connection to it, but I think I'm able to be more entertaining with the model, or I'm able to do things as a content creator and as an entertainer that are just more fun for me by being a VTuber as opposed to being a face cam streamer. And there's different combinations, and there's no wrong way to be a VTuber. So for you, Maple Winters, what does being a VTuber mean to you?
Ooh, that's $1 million question. This is something that I've given quite a bit of thought to, and it's something I've been asked before. So I think I might have a fairly decent answer swimming around in the neurons somewhere. I think when you said that there's creativity, there's creative things you can do that you can't do otherwise. I think that's definitely part of it. But for me, more than anything, I've always wanted to be a streamer. I've always loved streams. I've loved the environment of it, and I've always wanted to create that myself. I would sometimes do like little Discord streams for friends or something, or I started watching streams back on Ustream, on the Ustreams day, and I hope it's okay that this might be.
That's how you know she's an elf that's been around.
And this this might be a long-winded answer, and I apologize. But I used to watch streamers back then, and even back then I was like, this is so fun, and I would make an account and just like ask a friend from ask a friend from school to watch or something. And it was always something that I wanted to try, and but I'm kind of naturally a very shy person. I'm naturally a very risk-averse person. So I didn't have the courage to do it. But then I discovered VTubing. And it's like, well, I don't have to show my human disguise. I can be my actual real elf self. And I can have kind of like, how would I put it? When you said that some people feel like they can be more themselves, I think I'd probably be in that camp. And I know that some people kind of treat their appearance on stream more as like a costume or like an original character, like an OC or something. And they'll talk about like, oh yeah, they'll talk about, oh yeah, they'll talk about their VTuber appearance as if they were separate from themselves. But I definitely feel like very connected to how I present myself on stream right now. I mean, making it myself, I think definitely is a big part of feeling that way. Because I made exactly how I felt I should look.
There was no need to go multiple rounds with the artist and say, actually, I'm envisioning the design being a little more that way, that being your own artist means that I know that most artists are never fully satisfied with their work to some degree, but at the very least, your artist knew the intent of everything, and that being able to do it yourself means that you're able to have a level of detail, control, and consistency to your vision that is going to be very difficult to have when you are somebody who is working with an artist who is the one making a design.
I mean, part of me being everything DIY was a matter of necessity, you know, like you sometimes you'll hear that people go into debt to debut. And I certainly, I didn't have confidence to be spending, I didn't have confidence in my prospects of a streamer to invest a lot of money at the beginning, but...
You're not the first person I know of who learned Live 2D as a cost-saving measure.
Oh, absolutely. All I have to pay is the license. But I'm grateful to my past self for being such a... for being someone who enjoys learning new things, that I had a lot of transferable skills already that that really came in handy for making everything. But yeah, I think being a VTuber, to me, I guess, to bring it back around, gosh, it's tough to put it. Yeah, elf-employed is what the Leaf would say. I'm elf-employed. But to put it into, it's hard to put into just a few words, but I think it really is about being in a form where I feel more comfortable being in front of people. I feel more comfortable engaging with other people. It definitely gives me a bit more confidence to act silly, to do silly voices, to try to do funny accents and fail, to sing in front of people, to even dance. For a special event stream earlier this year, I did a full body tracking stream where I sang and danced some Idol songs, and I would never be brave enough to do that in any other way. So I guess it's the freedom to chase the dream that I've always wanted to chase. I think that's probably what being a VTuber is to me.
Well, based on what we said earlier about idols being aspirational, that we have that idols are aspirational entertainers, and that you are, like you said, an aspiring idol, and that you then aspired to be a VTuber to aspire to be an idol, and that we have the consistency there, that it all comes back around, and I think you're doing quite a good job of it.
Oh, thank you very much. I've always there's so many streamers that I admire that I've been watching for so long, and I've tried to learn as many lessons as I could from them as I could, and I'm trying to consciously improve all the time, and I am aspiring to learn and improve and become a better streamer and maybe even one day an idol.
Yeah, I think that that's definitely going to happen. Heck, if you've already done Idol Maple is real. We've had it at least once, so.
At least once. That was a really special stream. It's a wonderful memory for me. And yeah, I'd love to try to do more of that in the future, but I'm still not an idol yet. I'm a trainee.
Well, I definitely think you're gonna get there. And I do actually have one last question, and that's who would you like us to raid?
Oh, I am not the person to ask. I am not the person to ask. Any of my viewers, any of the LEAFBUDs will tell you that the most nail-biting part of the stream is trying to choose someone to raid, because there are so many VTuber friends of mine, and also people that I look up to, and every single time I go check my following list of like, who's live? Oh, like 25 of my favorite people.
There are a lot, and
Chat,
to be honest, the reason that I asked the guest to direct the raid is so I never have to make the decision myself. It's all a scam, Maple. This has been since day one. I, like you, have never wanted to have to make the decision. I'm just like, oh, well, a guest. How about you decide where the raid goes?
Oh dear. Well, what I normally do is first come first in the chat.
Well, first we see in the chat, I think that's Jets. Fallout Freedom has it first with Jets. Is Jets live? She is.
Oh, it looks like there's also. Oh, Alex and Ronan. Koopa, Pumpino.
I don't know.
See, how do you
Alex.
choose? How do you choose?
Then a Ronan, obviously.
Ronan is wonderful.
Oh yeah, no, Ronan's been on the show.
I can't speak well enough about her. She's fantastic.
Well, let's go to Alex then, since that is both somebody I know and somebody who I don't know.
Oh, that's great then.
Yeah, because I don't know Alex, so always like to see new stuff. And also, just what a terrifying thing. Alex is teaching Ronan about Skibidi Toilet. Sorry, not sorry, chat.
Sigma? I'm sorry.
Blame
Salt
Wizard.
That was inappropriate.
Blame Salt Wizard for what is about to happen.
I try to keep up with the slangs and the new things, you know, on God, for real, Ohio, Skibbity Riz. Grandma tries to keep up with the slang that the young people say, you know.
I try to keep up with some, and I'm never going to judge a generation for their slang, because every generation has their slang. Every generation.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god. Spelling the as T-E-H? Lead speak? I am in no position to judge the youngins.
Absolutely. And
Tis Pork of Doom!
And I like to think that I have the wherewithal to know the line of where I should and shouldn't adopt a younger generation slang. That we've all had the parent who tries to be the hip one and use the slang and it doesn't work, and that there's certain ones that I say is like, okay, I could see myself using that term. Skibbity not so much, but hey, I'm, like I said, I'm not going to judge them for using it. I'm just not going to pick up those particular terms myself.
If anything, I think it's great that the younger generation is getting involved in the classics. You know, Gmod animations.
Yes.
You know,
that's another one.
That's
similar to TF2.
That's high culture.
Mm-hmm.
That's high culture. So you know what? Maybe the kids are right.
You know, like, goodness knows, the old Flash animations that I grew up with, and that I would guess you grew up with a fair bit as well. We had some real dumb stuff on Newgrounds and Flash Player. There was some just silly, absurd, crazy cartoon violent stuff, and I'm glad to see that continue. I absolutely want every generation to have their, this is just, it's dumb, literal and figurative toilet humor to grow up on and just laugh at, with their friends. That those are the types of things that I can make references to certain Flash animations with friends today that we watched very, very, very long times ago, and that we will all still laugh. And that's what they're doing right now, and I'm very happy for them.
Yeah. They'll have their own...
I have that full song memorized. Gandalf the Quarian, Gandalf the White, and Grail's Black Knight, and Benito Mussolini, and the Blue Meanie, and Cowboy Curse, and Zombie the Genie, Robocop
Terminator, Captain Kirk, Darth Vader, Lopan, Superman,
every single Power Ranger, Fearless, Preston, Theodore, Logan, Spock, The Rock, Doc Ock, and Hulk Hogan.
Look, they're gonna have their own fire Z missiles and all of that stuff. And you know what? They'll look back on it and cringe, but also be nostalgic of the same way that we are. And people like to be doom and gloom, but I choose to be. I think I can also be a gloomy person, but overall, I think it's important to try to stay optimistic and stay hopeful and stay and stay benefit of the doubt, and not be too cynical about things. So yeah, I think it's all good. Shall we raid?
Yes. So, and before we go, I do want to thank the folks who have followed. That I have been seeing them come in throughout the stream. I usually don't like to interrupt conversation, so thank you so much to Alejandro, One Arm, Zykes, Lifting Dude, Neuer, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, apologies, Salt Wizard, GPAG Gray, Left 4 Creeper 2, Purple Panda Meow, Halberd 12, Big Line Man 34. Thank you all so much for the follows. Really appreciate you, and thank you so much to all of the Leaf Buds who have stopped by tonight, whether you've been here since before the show started, if you hopped in somewhere along the line, any amount of conversation or just spamming emotes or even lurking. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for being here for Maple. This has been so much fun. And I just cannot thank you enough. I really do appreciate it, and I appreciate you, Maple, as well. Like I said, Vtuber Talk does not exist without the guest. I've painted myself into a corner here. It is the entire thing of the channel that, outside of the game streams that I do once a year as charity rewards, this is it. If I don't have people being generous with their time, which, okay, maybe time is a bit more abundant for you as an elf, but it is still a very valuable resource, and I appreciate you spending that here with me.
Oh well, likewise. I was very honored to be extended an invitation to come on the show, and like I said, I've Vtuber Talk. It really, to me, it's an institution. It's been an ongoing series for so long.
The idea of that is entirely odd to me.
No, but I really do feel that way.
I'm not big.
Hey, but you don't have to be. I think again, like I said, long running series and especially like talk shows. I think there's, for it to go on so long, I think that's definitely something special, because I mean, I certainly know I couldn't manage it. I think it really is a testament. So I'm very honored to be among such an illustrious collection of guests, and and yeah, I've had so much fun talking. I've been having I had a really fun discussion. And yeah, I look and sorry, I'm fumbling my words at the 10-yard line.
Seems the Leaf Buds have picked what is actually. Usually, I just say, okay, tell the person we're rating that the guest sent us and stuff. But they have gone ahead and written what might be one of the best raid messages this channel has ever had.
Oh, they always write raid messages for me, and they're always perfect. They're always wonderful. Every time we've ever done anything Banjo-Kazooie, the raid message is like a Gruntilda rhyme. It's just, the Leaf Buds are honestly the best ever. And they're why streaming is so much fun. And seeing all the familiar faces in the chat and all the emotes in the chat made me really, really happy. So thank you everybody for watching. And if there's anyone new who didn't maybe any YouTube VOD viewers or any viewers to whom I am a new face, thank you very much for watching. And I would be very grateful and appreciative if you stop by the stream sometime and see if it's your vibe.
That we have Maple's Twitch and Twitter handles over there on screen. They are down in the channel panels if you're watching live on Twitch, and they will be in the video description if you're on YouTube. And seriously, if for some crazy reason you are not already following Maple, please do be sure to correct that. In fact,
Aw.
there we go. Yeah. So, and Real Folk Blues, thank you so much for the follow and for the raid message. Also, very good reference with the name. Very well done. Yes. So again, thank you, Maple. Thank you to all the Leaf Buds. We're going to go over to Alex with the ultimate raid of Ultimate Destiny. So thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.